Whoa. Happy Thursday, everybody. Captain Coder here, coming at you on this beautiful morning for me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you be in the world. I was gonna say coming at you live, and it's true. I am coming at you live. I'm not coming at you. I'm being broadcast to you. Broadcast to you through the power that is the internet, folks. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here on this beautiful morning. Gee. Thank you so much for the raid, my friend. So happy to have you here. That's right. That's a whoa. That's a whoa, folks. Whoa. Thank you so much for being here, G. So happy to have you. We got the whole crew here today. Sir Black Soul with that first comment. Sir Black Soul, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here early. You know, when I was in band, they say to be early is to be on time. We also got Moon is here at first plus one. First plus one. Moon is, you know you'll always be first in my heart. You too, Sir Black Soul, you are first in my heart. You're all first in my heart. You are all first in my heart. Daniel the Dark, yesterday I did a math test and got 100%. Congratulations, nice work. Nice work, my friend. Good job. You know, I was always a math nerd, and math nerd's not quite the right. I always really enjoyed math classes. I don't know why. A lot of people really didn't like math classes. I always loved my math classes. That said, I did fail my first calculus class in college. The first time I took calculus in college, I think I got an F. I think I failed like below 60% or whatever it was. I had to take it a second time. Second time I nailed it though with a 91%. Nailed it. 91%. Went on, you know, grade replace on that transcript is good stuff. You know, if at first you don't succeed, try calculus a second, maybe a third time. Do it as many times as you gotta get it, because calculus is pretty cool stuff, man. Maybe John, thank you so much for being here as well, my friend. Maybe John, we did SFML yesterday. It was so simple. It was so fast. It was the simple fast media library that boom, we were able to get it all done in one day. That's all it took. That's all it took, one day. I loved the simple fast media library. I'm gonna try and find a way to use it. As I was saying in the chat to you a little bit earlier, it runs great on Windows out of the box. On Linux, it's really easy to get installed. On Mac, for whatever reason, it's because Mac, there's no installer for Mac. You have to pay money to get an installer for Mac. You have to do a bunch of stuff with Brew to get it working, and then you also have, if I can find an easier way to get it working, I want to use it. It's just I have like, I think 40% of my students are on Mac, so I may not be able to use it. I might just give up and not do any graphical stuff in my C# class this term and look forward to, you know, try and find something later. But I really liked the ease of SFML. The other thing I liked about it is it worked well with the polyglot notebooks. It worked really well with polyglot notebooks, which I love to use. MMO Pug, thank you so much for being here, folks. MMO Pug is the fabulous, the wonderful, the incredible person behind these incredible laser engraved swag. Look at this tumbler. You know you want this tumbler. Look at this, that laser engraved Captain Coder tumbler. We got laser engraved Captain Coder coasters. We got a laser engraved Captain Coder holographic desk piece. We got a laser engraved Captain Coder card game pouch. This is like my favorite one here. This is amazing here. The amazing MMO Pug. If you guys want to get in on it, head over to the Discord. This could be yours. On the Discord, we have a giveaway going. All you gotta do is click any one of these reactions, and boom, you are entered for a chance to win this mug on Saturday, folks. Saturday, 2 days from now, we'll be doing the drawing. You could win it. I'll mail it to you anywhere in the world that the United States Postal Service will allow me to ship it. And I apologize if this sounds like a infomercial. Somebody says that sounds like I'm listening to an infomercial. So I apologize if that was a bad thing. I just want people to know, look, we're giving away this swag. I don't even have you can't even buy this swag. So So the only way to get it is to enter the giveaway, and you can get yourself Captain Coder 16-ounce tumbler. We're gonna be doing some more giveaways once I figure out the whole process here. We also got a new crew member. Mattis is here. Mattis is here today, following the captain's crew. Yeah, Mattis, I'd like to welcome you to the crew. Welcome aboard, my friend. That's right, Mattis is here. Mattis is the newest member of Captain Coder's Academy. Welcome aboard, my friend. I'm so happy to have you here. I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and I am a computer science educator. So if you have any questions, programming related or otherwise, I will do my best. I will do my best to answer them. I'm pretty new to C#.net. I've been doing it for less than 2 years, 20 months at this point, and we're just playing around with stuff. I teach computer science, I teach programming, so we're playing around with doing a MineSweeper game this week in we're doing it in as many different ways as we can. We can get it done in a week. G, so nice to have you here again. Thank you, G, for the raid, my friend. So nice to see you. We also have Devro in the house, folks. If you don't know, if you're not following Devro's an incredible and absolutely phenomenal 3D artist and game developer. Check out his stream. You got to give him some love. Hit that little heart. Guys, we're so close to a woe chain. We're so close to finishing that woe chain. Can we finish the woe chain? Is it woe enough? Can we be woe enough? But folks, while you're here in the chat here, folks, you got to click that little heart. Give Devro some love. Whoa. That's right, folks. Whoa, we got a woe chain finished. Thank you guys so much for finishing that. Give Devro some love. He deserves it. We love us some Devro. We love us some Devro. But yeah, MMO Pug, once again, thank you for all that sweet, sweet slag. Maybe John, welcome to lurk mode, my friend. Enjoy your studying. I don't know if you can enjoy something, but good luck with your studying, what I should say. We also have Daniel in the dark. Daniel in the dark, not Daniel in the dark. Daniel of the dark. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Happy to have you on this beautiful Thursday morning for me. Maybe it's an afternoon, maybe it's an evening for you. Who knows? But welcome back. It's always wonderful to have you here, Daniel. Thank you, Devro, for being here. If I missed someone, please let me know. Thindle, I am so glad you're here. Thindle says, I did a programming test and got 100% well work. But it all worked and test passed. Nice. Did a programming test. You did a programming test for work. I don't quite understand what you're saying there, but nice job getting all those tests to pass. Yes. Devro says, destroyed my whole project yesterday by accident, got up early today, took a day off, and repaired everything. That sounds awful. Were you able to get it restored? Was it like in a repository? I hope it was in a repository somewhere and you're able to pull it out of that and it wasn't too much of it. Thindle to Daniel the Dark, I'm not going to say congrats, it was your effort that made it happen, so I'll say good job instead. Thindle, one-upping all of us. That's right, Daniel the Dark, not congratulations, good job, great going, nice work, my friend. I enjoy that. Moon is asking MMO Pug, did you know that we have you got a new animated emote, Moon is? Oh, you got the crying cloud, the Moon is cry, oh my goodness. That is so sad. Oh my goodness. Mattis says, hello, C# developers. Finally a stream related to my job. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully we can learn a little bit together because I am pretty new to .NET. I've been using it a lot in the last 2 years, trying to learn, because I've been writing a book, essentially. I want to teach an intro to programming book that uses C# because I love it so much. But I gotta get better at it to really write that book well. Maybe John says, oh, welcome to lurk mode, maybe John. BS repellent. I think it's BS repellent. Let me know if that's not the correct way to pronounce it, but BS repellent. Good morning, my friend. Welcome to the crew. Happy to have you here in the chat with us. Mattis asked, do you have a CS degree? I do. I have a bachelor's of computer science, and then I went to, so I don't know how proud I should be of this, but I went to grad school for computer science education. I'm actually really proud that I went for computer science education, but I didn't finish. I went to a PhD program. I was in a PhD program for 3.5 years, almost 4 years, but I didn't finish. Angel Bear has raided us today. We got an Angel Bear. Thank you for the raid. Folks, if you're not following Angel Bear, you gotta give, let's see, Angel Your name, your username is a little hard for me to type. Angel Thump is here. Angel Bear. There's a lot of Angel Bear. There we go. Shout out to Angel Bear, folks. Angel Bear, incredible streamer. I caught your stream this morning. It was awesome, Angel Bear. Angel Bear, let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong, but you're a Unity game developer. You're learning how to be a Unity game developer, learning coding, learning to code and grow. That's exactly what I'm promoting here. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so much fun chat, and you're just fun to chat with too. But thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate you being here. Let's see, what do we got? Thindle says, if you need something from someone who has been working in C#.NET since 2.0, wow, so almost 20 years, just ask me and I'll try my best. I will. I'm gonna probably take advantage of that. I appreciate you being here, Thindle. I'm loving C#. I'm loving C#. Then Daniel Dart says, you're such a smart guy. Thank you. I tell people think I'm very, very smart. I'm a simpleton. I really am a simpleton. I've just been coding for many, many years. So Dramel calls me a code-a-ton. I'm a ton of simple, but I've got a lot of code up here. I think I got over 30,000 hours of coding, and that's why I'm pretty good at coding. Moon is trolling, asked, and how was C# before await async? Thindle replying saying multi-threading synchronization was harder, but await async is just awesome. Syntactical sugar around something you could do before. Yeah. We also got another crew member, folks. Owen Codes. Thank you for following me. Yeah. I would like to thank you, Owen Codes, for following me today. Owen Codes, welcome to the crew. Owen Codes, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful Thursday morning for me, Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. It's happy to have you here. Devro saying, wasn't in a repository, but now it is. At least I rebuild it much more efficient. Well, I'm glad you got in a repository. I always start with the repository folks. I always start with the repository folks. Repositories are awesome. Great way to track and manage your code. Mattis is here, says, I love C# due to link and its syntax. I do love me some link syntax. I think next week, I haven't decided exactly what we're gonna do next week, but someone on the Discord, folks, we try and do a new project here on the Discord pretty regularly. Every week or two, someone suggested this idea to create a coding language. This one's been on here for a while, and I think this is what we're gonna do next week. I have I wrote a little tiny, I'm hesitant to call it a language, but a language for doing dice rolling, and I'd like to turn it into a full-blown, another little tiny programming language that's more feature-rich. So I think next week we're gonna actually create a coding language on stream, and we'll be using fancy link syntax to do it. So I think that's what we're gonna do next week. I haven't entirely decided, but if you wanna suggest projects, just come on to the Discord, click this little suggest projects spot, and you can post projects, and this is where a lot of the projects come from. Thimdall says, if anyone really wants to see what async and await does, you can drag to the intermediate language and decompile it back to C#. There will be no async awaits. It's all just helper code. Yeah, I love. So the thing I love about C# is, because I've worked in Java for so many years before that, is all of the syntactic sugar in C# that makes it so tasty to work with, and it feels like the people who work on C# use C# and understand the pain points. That was never how I felt about Java. I always felt like Java was not purposely, but like intentionally set up in a structured way to make your life harder. So I love the people who work on C#. The devs who create C# is amazing. Thindle says, C# was my first type language with a garbage collector. Java was mine. It was such a wonderful experience for someone coming from C++. Java was a wonderful experience for me at the beginning, and then it sort of, I actually don't dislike Java. I actually think Java has a lot of awesome stuff going on in it. But there's so much C# and maybe later version Java. I was stuck on Java 8. I think we were actually pre-Java. I think we've been Java 6 for a long time. Anyway, For many years, I worked on making a special Java compiler. So it'd take Java code and it would compile specifically to be multi-threaded on a supercomputer that had 6,000 cores. So that was a job that I had for a long time, was writing Java compilers. And so I know, I know a lot about Java, and C# has just been a breath of fresh air for me. And I love C#. But yeah, C# was very influenced by Java in the beginning. In fact, so I often feel that Java was a language that was made. So I often tell people, well, you know, people made C++ because there was a lot of things that was difficult prior to object-oriented programming languages. And then people made Java because of all the pain points of C++. And then C# was made because of all the pain points of Java. And so there's like this interesting history of how languages develop. They're all sort of influenced by each other. Grabbing the best of C++ and Java and smashed together into a mutant hybrid. Yes, Thindle, that's exactly what it felt like. Folks, I'm so sorry if I missed something in the chat. If I missed it and you want me, and you meant for me to see it, please post it again, so I'll check it out. And that said, what the heck are we working on today? What the heck are we working on today? I'm so sorry, Unity folks. I know you're gonna be, try not to be too mad at me, Unity folks. But we've been making, let me open it up here. Make a new window. Nope. New window. Let's open up our open our MineSweeper. Nope, this was the wrong one. This was the wrong one. We want to open MonoSweeper. I'm gonna so we've been working on MineSweeper as many different ways. This is MineSweeper week apparently. This is gonna be MineSweeper week. Angel Bear, no Unity. This shall not go unpunished. I know. I'm gonna scare everyone away. I'm checking out Godot today. Just checking out. So we implemented MineSweeper as a dynamically linked library, a DLL that can hopefully be dropped in anywhere. And we implemented a console version of it. So the console version is my favorite version, actually. Console Captain Coder.console sweeper. So we got .NET Run. The console sweeper looks awesome in my opinion. It's the best one. So we made a console sweeper. Oh, I changed. Hang on. I made it so that this is actually .NET Run. I made it so I can give it to my students without them getting the source code, because I'm going to want them to play it, and then I'm going to ask them. So we have a console version of MineSweeper. Oh, the bomb was in the corner and got me. Let's try again. There you go. So we got the console MineSweeper like this. So we have all the logic of MineSweeper implemented as a DLL in C#. And so the idea is I should be able to drop this into a variety of different spots. Is your MineSweeper always solvable? So it depends on what you mean by solvable, Thindle. I don't think MineSweeper is, I think you can end up, no matter, I've never played a version of MineSweeper that was quote unquote solvable. You will always, it's very possible that you end up in situations where you have to make a guess, where it's like a 50-50 guess. That happens frequently. In the Windows versions, once you hit a free area, it'll always be logically solvable without guessing. Mine does not do that. That seems like a very, the very first spot you move will always have will not have a bomb. It's guaranteed to not have a bomb. I don't think that's true, actually, Thindle, that it's logically solvable without guessing. I've been watching a bunch of videos on MineSweeper, and they're showing, like, oh, you can get these programs to do analysis, and that you'll end up in these situations where you often have 50-50 chance towards the end of the mine sweeping. That I could be completely wrong, though. I could be completely wrong. I feel like that would be a very painful, maybe not painful, but an interesting algorithm to implement. But I could be wrong. No, Thindle. That would be good. I know what I heard is that the very first move in MineSweeper on Windows is always guaranteed to not blow up, and so we added that. So I do think that, I don't know. Let me say that I don't actually know if that's true or not. Angel Bear says Humble has an awesome Godot bundle right now. If you haven't seen it already, Angel Bear, yes, I did actually get it. I actually purchased that. And folks, if you want to support Captain Coder, I forgot. Let me do that real quick. If you want to support Captain Coder, you can get that I have a Humble bundle here. I am a Humble bundle sponsor. if you'd like to get the Godot bundle, I'm not saying you have to. I got it because I want to learn a little bit about Godot. If you want to click this link actually, if you follow this link, you can support Captain Coder. And let's see, does this one have Girls Who Code? I don't think this one's a Girls Who Code one. But here's the Captain Coder here. If you get this bundle, and you don't have to, but if you're gonna get it anyway, you can come down here. Did you know? Oh, it is a Girls Who Code. You get a support Girls Who Code. Come down here because they're an amazing organization. Come down here. Just make sure Girls Who Code gets as much of this as possible because Girls Who Code is an amazing organization. And if you do this, Captain Coder and Charity, this is my sponsored link. Okay, all right. Dindle says, can I add a partner to every bundle? Yes, you can add partner to every bundle. In fact, if you go to humble.captaincoder.org and you click this activate support link, anything you buy on Humble Bundle for the next 24 hours gives 5% to me, gives 5% to Girls Who Code. And if you happen to be like a Humble, if you pay for your Humble Bundle account, it gives 10% to me, 10% to Girls Who Code. So really, really nice little deal there. If you're going to be buying something anyway, support Girls Who Code. Support Girls Who Code. Okay. So that said, let me make sure my break timer, just sometimes it doesn't reset properly. It reset properly today. Excellent. Yeah, I buy more. Me too. I buy an awful lot of bundles. All right, so today, what do I want to do? I want to see, this is my first time really using Godot at all. I want to see, can I use my DLL, my MineSweeper DLL in here? Oh, and I was going to say, we also did the SFML version. I didn't quite finish it, but we made an SFML version of MineSweeper. So we have MineSweeper. It's not a simple, fast media library. We did an SFML version. So it's supposedly a cross-platform windowing tool here. So we did implement this as well. I didn't add all the fancy menus and features in this. I just was playing around with it. I would like to find a nice tool that I can use with my students to help them learn about UI stuff. But I want to use a program that is super lightweight and doesn't like give them all of the tooling for free. So for example, Unity, Godot, they have like buttons and a bunch of classes and stuff built in. So I want something as lightweight as possible. But yeah, so I blew myself up there. But yeah, this works. All right, folks. So we did that one. We tried to do one in monogame. I did not like monogame, so we passed on that one. And now we're gonna try it in Godot. Angel Bear, yes, I show me, you know, I asked you, I said, remind me to show you the self-portrait. Remind me to show you the self-portrait. Thank you for the reminder. So Angel Bear is going to a Renaissance fair. I love me a good Renaissance fair. Here is my Ren fair. So this is a digital painting that I created many years ago. This is me. This is my, so let me zoom out a little bit. My camera's gonna keep following me. So I made this back when I was in college. And I thought I wanted to be a like digital, come on camera, a digital artist here. So this is a digital painting I did with a Wacom pad back when I was in college. And then I had a print made of it. But this is me, this is a self-portrait of me back when I was pretty beardly. But this is me in my studded leather armor, which I used. Look at that. Furry night, yeah, this is me and my, so I need I wish I had the picture. The sound, can you guys hear me? Oh, where are sounds in the game, Sijian said? Yeah, no sounds in the game. That's a bonus feature though, but yeah, I made this when I was younger. I should try and find the original picture to show people that original picture so you can see what I used to make it here. Sijian, no sound in the game, but I did, I put on there, that's like a bonus feature on our to-do, is to see if we can add in sound. I don't think it would be that hard to do. Thindo was saying when you said, what did you say? I built a game engine from scratch in C++ way back in the day. Yeah, I've never done that, but a lot of people are doing it. It seems really, really interesting. I know Art, I don't know if Art's here, but Art Berkless, an incredible indie game developer, made its own game engine for making a game called The Warlock's Gauntlet. You guys got to check out that stream. Not only is he making it in C++, he's essentially made an engine just for doing it. It's a beautiful Amazing looking game. You got to check it out. I wish I had some screenshots. I have a copy of the game. I should get some screenshots and gameplay footage so I can show it off on my stream every time I give Art a shout out. But amazing, amazing stuff in that one. A knight with a laser sword. Yes, a knight with a laser sword. A Jedi knight, so to speak. MMO Pug says, I played a lot of Valheim. My wife had a canvas picture of my head on a Viking for Christmas. Nice. I had to uninstall Valheim because that game, Valheim, too addictive. Too addictive. I had to uninstall it. I couldn't have it on my computer and be productive with it installed. 7 Days to Die. Yeah, S7 Days to Die was another one that I had to uninstall. That game was too addictive for me. All right, so let's take a look at Godot here. So I have my logic, my MineSweeper, CaptainCoder.MineSweeper here. Let's do an actual build here. Put a picture of it in Discord. Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that. This has, so I made a Godot sweeper here. So my question that I need to ask is, can I drop in this Captain Coder MineSweeper DLL? Let's do a build here. MonoSweeper, see Captain Coder MineSweeper.net build release. Is this how I do it? Yeah, so I can build a release build of it. And so these DLLs, I should be able to drop these in to somewhere. I don't know where to put them. Let's reveal these in my reveal in File Explorer. So I would like to take these and package them up and drop them. .NET Publish. What's the difference between .NET Build and .NET Publish? .NET Build, I don't need I just need to get the DLLs of it. I've done .NET Publish, but usually I have like hooks for how to like turn that into like an executable type thing. Is there a difference between Publish and Build? .NET Publish versus Build. Publish, move the required files to some location. So publish, yeah. So usually when I do a publish, I have like some hooks set up to decide how and where they go. And so I don't have that set up. So I was just gonna copy them over to my Godot project. I just don't know where to put them in there. Again, this is the first, literally, I've used Godot one other time, many years ago. Daniel of Dark, just made yourself some coffee. I got myself some delicious bean water myself. But I was just gonna move them in here by hand in my Godot sweeper. Let's see if I just add a folder here called libs. Can I just paste these here? And then they'll somehow be available to me. I'm gonna drop these here. If I go over to Godot. Oh, so I have libs here. Okay. So it did detect that I have this deps.json thing. So my question is gonna be, okay, how do I add? I've never used Godot. I need to be able to add a script. So what are the goals for me today? What are the goals for me? Add Captain Coder's MineSweeper DLL project. So I want them in the project. I need to create a script and be able to reference my MineSweeper DLL from Godot. That's what I want to be able to do. This is my step one for today. G says, just wondering if you use a DLL in your game, does it make your games Windows only? Only if the DLLs happen to have Windows specific dependencies. So for example, my Unity build for Harmony uses my Captain Coder Core DLL, and that runs in the web browser. So no, the answer is no, as long as the library, this is actually using several DLLs that I built specifically for my engine that were separate from Unity, and this runs in the browser. So one of the great things about .NET 6, as of .NET 6, I believe there is a WASM, a WebAssembly binary. That there's a WebAssembly interpreter for .NET bytecode. So your F# code can actually run in the web browser. Your C# code can run in the web browser. It's actually super awesome that it can do that. I've actually been building I wish I had a thing that I could show off for it. I don't have it set up yet. I've been building a console that runs in the web browser, where you have a C# interpreter and you can type C# and then it'll like the web page is a console and outputs anything that you do in the interpreter, because I want that for my students. I'm hoping to get that a little bit more fleshed out. There's some really tricky bits with it because of asynchronousness, the asynchronousness of it. Have you seen the one on the .NET Learn site? Let me see. .NET Learn. So the issue that I have with pretty much all of the interpreters is they're not interpreters. Here, let's see. Send me a link. .NET in browser. So the problem I have with all of the ones that are on here is that they are compiled and you can't do console.readlines. Console.readline. I need to be able, my students need to be able to do readline input equal console.writeline. So everyone that I've seen so far, ooh, an embedded page says input A. All right, I've broken it. So everyone that I've ever used doesn't allow you to get user input. All right. So that is essentially the issue that I've had with any sort of one like this. Is it's actually calling out to some server and running it on that server. So the only one that doesn't do that is Replit, and Replit is just like horribly slow. So I'm trying to get the .NET interpreter to work in the web browser, and I've made some progress on it, but it's not quite there yet. So I want to get my Captain Coder MineSweeper. Let me see if I can get a DLL, a script. I don't even know how to create a script. I've done so little scripts. This is interesting, script. The question is, can I write script right here? File, new script. I want this to be C#. Inherits from node, new script. I'm gonna call this test. Try test. Script path will create a script template bit create. This is interesting. I don't like the lack of syntax highlighting, or that their syntax highlighting isn't complete here. I'm curious if I can use VS Code. There might be some extension here, Godot. C# tools for Godot. Godot's C# editor leaves a lot to be desired, but you can go into editor settings and use an external editor. Gotcha. Editor settings, external editor. External. .NET Fiddle, McNets, so sorry that you got timed out there. I apologize. .NET, McNets had posted .NET Fiddle. Yeah, use .NET Fiddle. You cannot use, you can't use inputs on .NET Fiddle unless they've updated it. Again, .NET Fiddle, if you want to do inputs, you can't do dynamic inputs on it. You have to have all your inputs ahead of time. So if I wanted to do console.readline, I don't think this works. Console string input. Let's get rid of everything else real quick. There's a lot of stuff here. I wonder if that's just something that I had in here previously. String input, console.writeline, enter something, and then console.writeline input. All right. Enter something. They fixed this. This is new. This is new. Something, because this was not the case at least a year ago when I was starting to do this stuff. This is great. But essentially I'm doing something kind of like this. I might just be able to steal some other stuff. This was not the case a year ago, so this is brand new. It's likely because of all the new stuff with .NET 7 with their interpreter, with the Roslyn interpreter, which is awesome. Awesome stuff. External programs, text editor, .NET editor, external editor, Visual Studio Code. There we go. Okay, so if I do that, I can't close this apparently. That's interesting. Okay, so it will open this. So my question is, if I use, all right, so we're gonna see using Captain Coder dot MineSweeper. And we're gonna have to get Captain Coder dot core in here as well. This looks like it's not, okay. So just dropping it in libs doesn't work. So my question is, how do I, is there a way that I can get, if you can get this in there? I think you can get a Visual Studio Code in GitHub if any of your repos. The Visual Studio Code on GitHub doesn't have a working terminal. You can edit code in a VS Code, but it doesn't have a working terminal unless you pay money, and then you can have a quote unquote workspace running. And so that's not an affordable option for all of my students. Yes, it's not an affordable option for all my students. So I would like to be able to get this in here. So my question is this a phantom error or is this an actual error? The following files are newer. Let's reload. I would like to just kind of close this window. Let's go back to 2D here. What happens if I try and click run? Main scene has never been defined. Okay, so we got to make a new scene. I guess I should follow a tutorial rather than just trying to like noodle my way through this new scene. Let's create a 2D scene like this. Save this as MineSweeper. And we'll click run. No scene has defined select current. Building.NET project. All right, let's see what this does. Failed to build. Okay, so the type Captain Coder can't be found. Into the root folder, maybe instead of libs. Ooh, I hate if I have to put it in the root folder. That is annoying. That's really, really annoying if I have to put it in the root folder. Because then if I have more than, you know, one DLL, because I have two, but I often have like 10 DLLs. Let's see what happens if I drop it in the root though. And there's probably just if I can do it, if I drop it in the root, there's probably a way to, so in Unity, for example, I have to say like where the assemblies are, that sort of thing. But let's give it a shot. Let's try moving them here. The thing is they don't even show up. The DLLs are hidden here. Let's try moving, see how many of these I have? I don't want to have to put all of these in the root. Let's give that a shot. Let's see if that does any better. Building solution. Failed to build. Okay, so that, it still didn't find them. It still didn't find these DLLs. So let's look and see here, because we do have this solution file. So normally I could specify in the solution where it comes from, or where our dependencies are. So this is me just fiddling my way through. Probably should try and learn a little bit of Godot first before just trying to jump in and do something crazy like this. But that's just not how the captain rolls. The captain wants to do crazy things immediately. All right, let's reload. Let's make sure that I could build it if this isn't here. Okay, I can. I do, so here's something I will say about Godot that I like so far, that I really, really like right now, is that Godot was really, really small download, and I didn't have to install anything. Godot just sort of worked. It's like a standalone executable that I double-clicked, it launched, and I could do some stuff with it. So the quote-unquote installation process was super, super easy here. Todd Makes Games, thank you so much for your for all the help you're doing here. Todd Makes Games, 50 points to you. Thank you so much for your assistance. We also got a new crew member here, folks. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we got Cappy. I'm gonna go with Cappy X. Cappy X, thank you for following me. Cappy X, I'd like to thank you for following me on this Thursday. Thank you so much, friend. Cappy X, I'd like to welcome you to Captain Coder's Academy today. Cappy X, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. So happy to have you here on this beautiful day. Cappy X says, I saw you were streaming in the Dev Dad's Discord, so wanted to drop a follow. Well, welcome aboard, my friend. Thank you so much for the follow. We love us, the Dev Dad. Folks, if you're not following the Dev Dad, let's see if this works. I always get it wrong. The Dev Dad, is that it? Dev Dad, I think it's just Dev Dad. If you're not following the Dev Dad, you gotta give the Dev Dad a follow. Dev Dad's amazing developer, software developer, streamer, and father, thus the Dev Dad, making a productivity app called Embedder in his spare time. You can catch it all unfolding on his stream in the morning before if you're looking for something to do before the Captain Coder comes on. The Dev Dad's on every day. I think he has like an 80 or 90 day in a row streaming streak. It's insane. It's insane. Fabulous, fabulous developer, though. I learn a lot over there. I love hanging out over at the Dev Dad's. Incredible, incredible stuff. Also, Seahorse, thank you so much for the follow. Seahorse. Let me think here. I would like to welcome Seahorse to the crew. Thank you for following today, Seahorse. I'd like to welcome you. Thank you for joining the crew. Seahorse, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy, where we learn and code and grow together as a crew. Today, we are trying to get our MineSweeper game that we've been working on here. Yes, so that's taught. We're trying to get a MineSweeper game working here. We've written the logic of MineSweeper in a DLL file. I want to be able to use that DLL file here in our Godot project. That's typically what I do, is reference the CS proj. So my question is, if I modify the CS proj here directly, so I see there is a CS proj, can I just modify this? Ooh, it's not. So one thing it should work. All right, so my question, so for example, if I modify this to go modify it back, let's try .NET add reference. Oh, and it's a DLL reference, so I gotta do something special. Hang on, let me pull up this other one. One sec, bear with me. So this would be awesome. Let's add a reference directly to our lib. All right, so if I go // Captain Coder .minesweeper .not, I gotta do .net, not .net. All right. .NET add, when there's another reference we're going to need to the core library, Captain Coder core, and then this one's like nested in here in Captain Coder core, because this one has a bunch of libs. Okay, this is interesting. So this should have modified, don't save, modified that. Okay, so it did that. My question is, so something that happens in other engines is this file keeps getting rebuilt. So my worry would be that I would lose it. All right, so if this is the case, so I can just sort of delete this libs folder, and we don't need that at all. And when it builds, it'll just build it in the right spot. Lance says, good morning, everyone. How goes this morning? It's going beautifully well, Lance. I'm so happy to see you here on this beautiful morning. We are working on yet another version, yet another MineSweeper game, my friend. Just like yours is yet another space game. Mine's yet another MineSweeper game. This is MineSweeper week. Clearly just checking some stuff out. I want to close this. Why can't I close this window? This is the most annoying thing in the world here. What is going on? Why can't I view? All right, let's go to two. Nutty. Strong Bad says, hey Captain, why are all devs good looking? Why are all devs good looking? It's because it's because of the CGI, the computer generated imagery that we're all aware of. File close. I think I just needed to switch when I was on, I don't know what was going on here. When I was in script mode here, it's saying that I'm in the MineSweeper scene, I think is what it is. So I'm gonna come over to the 2D project though. But I don't know why all devs are good looking. It's because we're just wonderful people. It's just good luck. It's good luck, good genes. They have a good dress code. Oh, Lance, thanks, Dad. I appreciate that. I know I can always count on Lance for a good old joke, a good old joke or two or three or five. All right. So I wanted to, let's open this back up. Using Captain, boom. Todd make games. Todd make games. Oh my goodness. Todd makes games. 100 points to you for solving my problem, my friend. I know your first suggestion was a good suggestion. It wasn't the right suggestion, but you got points for trying and for attempting to help, and I appreciate that and I love it. And then, you know, we got, because you got it right, because you solved my problem, I would have been here for probably another 20, 30 minutes trying to figure this out. 100 points for making my life that much better. All right, so we got our MineSweeper thing here. That's beautiful. And so really, all right, let's rename this. This is gonna be our sweeper board. And so we're gonna have a sweeper board like this. And inside of it, it is gonna have a private board from our MineSweeper board. No problem, oh captain, my captain. Oh, thank you again. And maybe I'll make this a property. Maybe it should be a public board. Board get private set like that. Called when the node enters the scene tree for the first time. Okay, so I guess what we could do here is say, okay, well, the first time it comes in, we're gonna create a new board and we're gonna make it a 10. Oh, I keep doing an 8 by 12, 8 by 12 board like this. Okay, process. I don't know that I need to do something here, but the question is, I want it to be able to know how to render itself on the screen. And so part of me thinks I might need another class here. Definitely not Chad. Ask, anyone here know a good alternative to YouTube Vanced? I'm not sure what Vanced is. I'm not sure what Vanced is. Does anyone have any suggestions or know any alternatives? Tawny Does Stuff says, how's Godot so far? So we've been using it for about 20 minutes. And I will say, so far, I like that we can add project references like this. This is not something we could do in Unity. So far, liking that. I think it's a matter of learning some stuff about it. So I'm gonna see if I can get something, so we can make a board like this though. And what are we gonna do next? My bot is so crazy. I thought I disabled some of these commands here. Hang on. These time-based ones, they're set to disabled, but they keep displaying stuff anyway. I don't understand. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, sorry, distracted. Vanced is basically YouTube Premium, but kind of not paid. My lawyer advised me not to list any alternatives. Gotcha. Well, we need a render function. When do we want to render? That's my question is, I need to figure out how to render something. We'll reload. Make sure resources are not imported. Resave. The following files are newer on disk. What actually take? Reload. That's interesting. Oh, I just deleted that file. That's why. Resave. All right, so I guess it's very similar. You got to remove it from here. So there's some things that we got to get working there. From what I understand, so scripts. Oh, does this just not know about this script if I didn't add it directly here? This is interesting. The Grumpy Game Dev says, hello, Captain. Hello, Grumpy. How are you on this beautiful day? It's nice to have you here. All right, so I don't know exactly what the deal is there. Do I need to only add scripts from this menu? Or so now that I have it set up to be external, does that just tab not do anything? But yes, I do need a render function. You are correct, Stronkbad. I don't know, Tawny, I don't know exactly what the process is here. I kind of need to create like this image in here. I need to figure out how to add an image in Godot. Todd makes games. Yeah, you can disregard the script tab at the top now that you're using VS Code. Excellent. Tawny asking, what I meant to say was, how is Godot looking against Unity so far? I've only used it for 20 minutes, so it's hard to say. I'm here briefly. I found another Atari controller. This is Grumpy Game Dev, by the way. I found another Atari that might give me a better button pressing experience. Awesome. You got to keep me updated on that. Folks, the Grumpy Game Dev, shout out. The Grumpy Game Dev is also a streamer. If you're not following the Grumpy Game Dev, he's a Grumpy Game Dev. The name says it all. If you want to be in a stream where the Grumpy Game Dev's working, on some fun, classic, old school coding development stuff, you got to go check him out. And, you know, he'll tell you to get off his lawn if you stay too long. But we love the Grumpy Game Dev. Give him some love, folks. Give him some love. Des1 Red State says scripts are added to nodes. You can right click on any node, including the root node, and add a new script. All right, so let me add I'm gonna add a child node. I'm gonna call this my board. Visible on screen. We'll just make you a node 2D. Add script. Add script. Can I just add it this way? Boom. How do I know if it has the script sweeper board? Okay, so it has the sweeper board on it. Okay, cool. Attach this, it has a script attached. Let me just do a thing here. Can I do like a debug? Is there if I just do a console.write line here, will this come to the console? So this is something that in Unity doesn't happen. If I were to run, so let's check it out. Let's see if this comes out here. gd.print, gotcha. We'll try gd.print in a second here. Yeah, so we don't get that down here either, which is fine. I wasn't expecting gd.print board dot, let's go with board dot, we'll just do board. And it's just gonna say the word board. I'm 90% sure there's no toString on this thing. I don't believe so. Tani Desta says, like I've been hearing a lot about how Godot 4 is much better than Unity, also because I've been facing project corruption and crashing and honestly tiring. I've had almost no issues. There we go. CaptainCoder.MineSweeper.board. It does. Okay, so that did get launched. It did do a thing. I've had almost no problems with Unity. My biggest complaint with Unity is that its debugger support is not great. Cappy says, I love that I found a coding Twitch community. Me too, Cappy. Cappy, that is exactly how I felt. It's like an amazing community is the other thing. I love it, love it, love it. G says, you have my lawn and mow it. You have my lawn and mow it. Attach script, we did it. You can see the script icon to the node in the node tree. Yeah, I see that now. Can you attach multiple? I'm assuming you can attach multiple scripts. Okay, so one thing I think I would like to do is this needs to render some images. So how would I add? All right. Okay, look, let me slow down because I'm getting too excited here. And we gotta celebrate our successes. We were able to get our DLL added in. That was the first thing I wanted to do, and we done did it, folks. And for being here to done see me do it, being here to see me done do it, being done seen saw that we done did diddle to do. For being here for this momentous occasion, all of you get 50 points, my friends. Thank you so much for being here to witness this momentous occasion. Grumpy Game says, I did a thing in Godot like 2 years ago. My main issue was that at the time, proper lambdas were not a thing in GD script. I believe that GD4 has remedied from what I heard. Yeah, so supposedly, so I have the quote unquote mono version. Supposedly C# works beautifully well in it. We're checking it out. We're checking it out. One script per node, that's maybe a good thing. I'm not 100% sure. Composite, you can, compose with a single node. Tiny Dove says, there's this analogy I found. Unity is like a washing machine, but it doesn't do your laundry correctly half the time. And the user manual is a 4-year-old version. And instead of fixing the laundry, the mechanics keep adding things like a blender add-on. Interesting. Look, I had no real complaints. My only real complaints with Unity were that the community and the tutorials, the Unity core itself, I thought the documentation was pretty good. I thought the tools they provided were really solid. My biggest complaint were that the YouTube tutorials and finding good things to use in it, I had issues with it. I had Unity crash very few times on me, but I've never built anything massive in it. So let me say that. I've never built anything massive. We got 2 new crew members, folks. We got 2 new crew members. Roma, the developer, is here, and I would like to welcome you. Roma, the developer, is now a part of the crew. Roma, the developer, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Thank you so much for following. I'm happy to have you here. We also got Strong Bad. We've got Strong Bad in the crew. Yeah, Strong Bad. I would like to welcome you to Captain Coder's Academy. Welcome aboard, my friend, today. Strongbat, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Roma, the developer, says, thank you for the welcome. You're welcome. No. Thank you for being here. Strongbat, scroll button in the land, making up the jam. Yes, indeed. Tani says, I was making this Pascal's Law demonstration unit by using real-time soft body physics, and it crashed on me and the project went poof. Gotta use a repository. Gotta get that stuff checked in. Okay. So my question is, how do I draw something on the screen? All right, so let me get my images in here. Create a new folder. We're gonna call this images. And then I'm gonna put my buttons in here. Okay, so let's go get our images and put them in our images folder today. MineSweeper, nope. We did it in our SFML sweeper. We had our assets buttons. We have this font that we could probably, let's see if we can get a font to work too. Drop that in here. So we got our buttons. We have all our images. So the question is, can I get these to draw on the screen? So Todd makes games. I need to be able to dynamically do it from my other script. And so the question becomes is, can I dynamically add things to the scene here? So let's look at what my goal is. Generate a grid of clickable images. So my grid can change shapes. My grid is, so I want to generate a grid of clickable images or buttons. And Immortal Kid asks, Godot? Question mark. That's right, and Immortal Kid, we're doing MineSweeper 7 different ways this week, apparently. A different version of MineSweeper each day. We did the headless version. We did the console version. We did the mono game version. We did the SFML version. Now we're doing the Godot version. And I'm so glad you're here to witness this momentous occasion. Okay. So the question is, can I just how do I add a child to this node? So when I'm ready, I basically want to add a bunch of button children to this thing. So I'm kind of thinking I want to make a new script that's a child of this called sweeper button. And the sweeper button has basically an image on it, that sort of thing. There's a storm outside right now. Is it a brewing or is it a blowing? Sweeper button. Andy Moore said using the logic for the first day, so just the view part. Exactly. So I want to teach my students the benefit of implementing the logic this way. So then it becomes very, very easy to drop it into a variety of places. I don't know what I'm going to be doing Saturday. We might keep doing MineSweeper. I'm not 100% sure. I kind of want to, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do a Blazor version of it. Although Unity, all my fans out there probably want me to do a Unity version, which I might do. Okay, so this doesn't have the board. This is going to have a public position. This is going to be a Captain Coder position using captaincoder.core. So this has a position, get private set. And then I basically want to have a sprite. I need to have an image. So what is Godot's sprite type? So that's the question. Dino says, can you make a Blazor WASM version that runs logic on the server via API calls and then make it multiplayer, a multiplayer MineSweeper? My plan is to make a Blazor WASM version. Yes, so a WebAssembly version with no server, just client side. Strongbat says, Canada has a different smell today. Interesting. Does it, 4 out of 10. Oh, I see. It has that April 20th smell. And Immortal Kid says, I hope the Unreal Engine one is 3D, kind of like the Jurassic Park Linux operating system theme. If you do use Unreal Engine for one of them, maybe. Sigian says, MineSweeper for every day, tomorrow with Unreal Engine 5, on Saturday with Unengine. Unit Engine. I'm not sure what Unengine is. All right. Oh, yes. That's right. The April 20th coder. Let's take a look here. Godot, add child node to scene. All right, I want to how to load a scene and add as child node. How to add and remove child. I don't want to add a scene nodes. Child node, add child nodes. I think I want to dynamically create children nodes and add them. How to add a new child node to a specific node inside of a GD script. Well, we'll look at maybe the GD script version. Add child. Okay, can I do an add? What is this? Get pirate set. Get private set. There we go. Grumpy Game says, looking back at the project I did, I used nothing but draw texture rect region. Yeah, maybe. Strongpad says, why not ChatGPT and Google? I don't know. As in, what do you mean ChatGPT and Google? Oh, I forgot to put the word position here. Oh, are you saying instead of Google, use ChatGPT? So ChatGPT is going to be based on stuff from a couple years ago, and this is version 4 of Godot, which just came out. So maybe I could do that. But this, is semi-new technology. I could try it. I could try ChatGPT. I like reading documentation, though. I like struggling harder. That said, I could probably do it. All right, so we have this here. Can I create how do I create a new node? Do I just instantiate it? And then what happens if I instantiate a node? Dragon Spirit Games. Hey there, first time I see a stream of Godot using C#. Well, welcome Dragon Spirit Games. Happy to have you here. This is my first time using Godot as well. The captain reads the man page. That's exactly right. If there was a man Godot, I would totally be reading the man page right now, but there's no man page for Godot. Yeah, this is my first time. The colonial coder, Colonel Coder, Proton Fig, everybody. Proton here is an astounding Commodore 64 coding guru and musician, graphician. He's a legend, folks. Go check him out. Check out that stream. Check out the chip tunes he makes. It was awesome catching you working on some music this morning, Proton. How did your stream go? How was it? Makes awesome music, absolutely. All right, can I just do a new sweeper button? Can we do this? This is a question I have. And what does that do if I do this dot add child? Here, we're gonna try a thing here. I'm curious, if I just do this dot add child, I'm curious, is there like still an inspector thing? Dragon Spirit Games says, I'm still using Unity because it's insanely hard to find any good things about Godot using C#. Yeah, I haven't tried very hard. It looked like it added it in there for a second. Here, let's run it again. I don't know, does the inspector update when you do stuff in Godot, or is it all separate? Because I don't know. Again, this is my first time using it. Dragon Spirit Games has followed, folks. We got Dragon Spirit Games, a new crew member. Dragon Spirit Games. Yeah, we got Dragon Spirit Games today. You followed me, and I'd like to say thank you for following me today. Yes, Dragon Spirit Games, I am welcoming you to Captain Coder stream. Captain Coder. Dragon Spirit Games, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy to have you here. Triple X Steve 420 no scope. Triple X says, please make a song with my username. Look, if every crew member who joins, every crew member who clicks that follow button gets their very own theme song, folks. Gets their very own, not theme song, but welcome song. Dragon Spirit Game says, wow, that must be the biggest welcome I've ever gotten. Look, I want people to feel welcome here at Captain Coder's Academy when we learn and code and grow together. And that's one way I do it. Owen Codes replies with a smile. Owen Codes, nice to see you again, my friend. Nice to see you again. Okay. What are we doing here? But yeah, Steve, if you want to, you can become a crew member too. Roma the developer says, love to see C# being used. What other programming languages do you know? Too many probably. I'm pretty solid in Java. I've done a lot in Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, and I love Haskell. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, we got a new crew member, folks. Triple XD4, 20 no scope, Triple X is here now. Triple XD4, 20 no scope, welcome here. I would like to welcome Triple XD420. No scope, Triple X is here on this beautiful Thursday. Triple X Steve 420 No Scope, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. I hope that was good enough for you. I enjoyed that very much. What a challenge. What a challenging name you have there, my friend. I appreciate you being part of the crew. Welcome aboard. All right, we did it. We did it. We made it happen. Yeah, I love trying to get C# working in a bunch of different ways. Dragon Spirit says the same. I will not scare people away by doing the same, though I can't sing for F. You know, sing for free. Sing for free, yeah. I sing for free. It's true, not everyone can sing for free, though. What are you planning to make in Godot? Dragon Spirit Games, good question. Mostly just checking it out. So we're making MineSweeper. We've implemented I'm a computer science educator. I teach computer science and programming at a school for ages 10 to 14. So in the United States, this would roughly be middle school, but it's a little bit wider than that. And the class I'm teaching, I'm having them implement MineSweeper. And so I'm having them implement the logic. So they're learning about how to develop using C#. And this is their first time making their own DLL, dynamically linked library. So the idea is they're going to make a class library for MineSweeper. This is a headless version of MineSweeper. Then they have to implement it as a console game. So they implement the logic. Then they're going to implement I keep doing this, MineSweeper here. Hang on. And then they're going to implement a console version of it. Where is it? MineSweeper. So that first one there is actually the library of it. And so they're going to implement this console version of MineSweeper. And then I want them to implement it using sort of a UI version as well. And that said, I don't know exactly what we're going to use for the UI. And so I'm just playing around with a bunch of different frameworks. I want to find a very small, lightweight framework. So we've done it in console. We've done a headless. We've done a console. We've done monogame. We've done SFML. I think I'm going to go with SFML, assuming I can get that working nicely on Macs. So far, I haven't gotten it working. I need to create like an installer on Mac for SFML. It works great on Windows. It works great on Linux. Mac, it's kind of a pain in the butt. We got another crew. We got so many new crew members today. Mia Leafa AI. Mia Leafa AI. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong, because I think it's wrong. Mia Leafa AI. Mia Leafa AI is here, and I'd like to say welcome, my friend. Yes, Mia Leafa AI is here, and you're part of the captain's crew. Thank you for following me today. Mia Leafa AI, thank you so much for the follow. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, do not hesitate to correct me. So happy to have you aboard on this beautiful Thursday morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Dragon Spirit Games says, that is so cool, man. I'm making a 2D pixel art platformer called Gaia. Ooh, I would love for you, Dragon Spirit. Look, you don't have to join the Discord, but I'd love to have you on the Discord and share it. I love checking out what people are doing here. We've got this is getting too big, but there's a share your work section down here. Please post it in the games forum, because I'd love to know more. I'd love to know more. This is where people post all sorts of fun stuff down here that we check out all the time, but please post it there. I'd love to see it. You don't have to, though. You don't have to. Also, I haven't promoted it in a couple minutes, but we are doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway, folks. If you'd like to get yourself your very own Captain Coder laser engraved tumbler brought to us by the incredible MMO Pug, folks, you can do that on the Discord. All you got to do, join the Discord, come over to the giveaways here, and hit any one of these reactions, get you entered to win this tumbler. I will mail it anywhere that the United States Postal Service will allow me to mail it. But feel free to join in on that. I'd love to have it. I'd love for you to have it. Okay. Proton says tracking Stereotunes is slow progress. It's not very interesting to follow, so people vanished and my wife came home. I fixed many things and it's slightly longer it was. Recording new work in progress. Gotcha. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining, Dragon Spirit. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. Okay. So the question is, how do I get an image? Okay, so someone said, let's see if we just get an image here. We're gonna add a child node, sprite. So my thought is, if I can figure out how the sprite works here, maybe I can just add a sprite, and then they say to add an image to it. Like that. Okay, so we have a sprite there. My question is, can I dynamically add a sprite this way? So rather than doing a new sweeper button, can I dynamically add a sprite here? And maybe I create some references or something. Sprite 2D, okay. S2D equals new sprite 2D. Will this let me add sprites? So my question is S2D dot, how do I change the sprite texture or whatever it is at runtime? That's a question that I have, is how do I change it? Daniel Garep, oi from Brazil. Well, hello. Daniel's a new member of the crew, folks. Thank you so much for the follow. Daniel, I would like to thank you today. Yes, Daniel, welcome to the crew. Daniel Garep, I don't think that's how you say it, but I'm doing my best today. Yeah, we've got Daniel following the Captain Coder. Daniel, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Daniel Garep, is that correct? Is that how we pronounce it? Welcome aboard, my friend. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Daniel Garep, excellent. I'm glad. I usually get names wrong, so I'm so happy I got it right. Godot change sprite image in script. That's what we're gonna look for. And maybe maybe ChatGPT would be help. ChatGPT here, maybe it'll be help you. How do I change? All right, so we're gonna try it. Login. Hang on, folks. I'm logging over here. Logging in. Oi, bom dia, Daniel. The Bing version is way more up to date. Okay. One sec. I don't like that. All right, let's get rid of some of these. I have some other things I've given ChatGPT. We're gonna drop those real quick. Okay. New chat. All right, folks, let's give it a shot. How do I dynamically change a sprite in Godot using C#? All right, let's give it a shot. That was fast. All right, texture equals new, and then we have to resource load sprite texture like this. So I might need to resource load all of them. Okay, you can do this. In this example, we first get a reference to the sprite node using the get node method. Then we load a new node. And then we create a new texture like that. Okay. Oh, you can also make a texture this way. Okay, so let me see if we can dynamically create it this way. We're gonna do some code like this. We're gonna see if this works. The Bing version is way more up to date. You just mean when searching for stuff? I don't understand what you mean, Thindal. The Bing version of Godot? I don't understand. So this is interesting because a sprite's not a thing here, but we'll do a sprite 2D sprite. We'll call this button. No, you can ask the Bing version of ChatGPT pretty much anything. Oh, gotcha. New expression can be simplified. So there isn't a constructor this way. So that's interesting because there's no constructor that works like that. And there's no texture. So this clearly did not work for Godot in this way. We can load a texture like this. If you teach like you stream, those kids are the luckiest SOBs, the luckiest sobs that are alive today. You're super nicely enthusiastic. I love it. I try to teach this. Oh, let's try S2D. Won't let me set the texture here. It has to be a texture 2D. All right, let's try texture 2D. Okay, so this might actually work. And then we got to add this as a child. Then we'll do this.add child S2D. Can I do that? Okay, well, this might work. This might work. I do think my students enjoy my teaching. I like to think they do, but it's not for everyone. It's a little bit too intense for some of them. So this is going to be in images/buttons/1.png. All right, let's see if this will get us a 1 added to our scene. We'll delete this one here. And let's click run. So if we get a little 1 in our Godot game here. Hey, look. That did it. That done did it. Excuse me. I'm still recovering from my sickness a little bit. It's very, very frustrating to still be slightly sick. So that was cool. So one thing, so here's something, and maybe I just don't know. Is something that I like about Unity that's just sort of built in by default is the you can like play around with stuff in the inspector. Your scene gets updated based on what your game view is. And so I'm not seeing that here by default. That said, there's maybe a way to get some sort of debug scene or something open. So I'm assuming that there is. I don't know for sure. I'm assuming that there is. Click the remote tab in the editor while the game is running. Let's check it out. Click the remote tab in the game while the editor is running. Where is the remote tab? Click the remote tab in the editor. Editor. Debug. You see that if you add your nodes via the UI as opposed to instantiate them in code, in the inspector, left above inspector, left above inspector, or hierarchy, import hierarchy, local remote. Oh, cool. This is what I wanted to see. Beautiful. So this is like the thing that I added in here. Awesome. Todd makes games. Thank you so much for that. Awesome. But yeah, so in these need to be dynamically generated, so they're going to contain the actual cell information like that. Dragon Spirit Games is saying, I bet they do. I try to be enthusiastic that when I stream. One of the times I did, I was called Bob Ross. Another time, Gandalf. I felt that was a huge compliment. Those are huge compliments, of course. Gandalf. That means you're a streaming wizard. Do you stream regularly, Dragon Spirit Games? If you guys are, another thing, guys, look, I don't know who is a streamer, who's not a streamer. If you're a streamer, let me know in the streamer info little forum here. I'd love to know who's a streamer because I like checking you guys out. I love Thindle, I love chill streams. I really do love chill streams. But yeah, let me know over there. I love checking them out. I wish I could, but with 2 kids and a wife at home, it is a little harder. That's fair. That's totally fair. I'm assuming that in the remote, I can play around with stuff like this and it will update. Anyway. All right, so we got that. Let's continue. Okay, so my goal then is to add in all of these. Maybe I don't need a sweeper button. I kind of think I might need a sweeper button. Red Cabin Games, chill streams, yes. Speaking of chill streams, folks. Speaking of chill streams, Red Cabin Games is an incredible game developer. You gotta go check out Red Cabin Games. A stream there. Red Cabin Games, remind me, I always want to say that you're Swedish, but I think that's wrong. Are you Swedish? Is that correct? Let me know if I'm wrong. But I love Red Cabin Games. I've been out for a while. I was sick, super sick. I was traveling. I haven't seen your stream in probably 3 or 4 weeks, but I love to check it out. Again, every time I'm there, I have a great time. Every time I'm there, I have a fabulous, wonderful, beautiful time. Okay, so we need to load our textures here. I don't want to create a bunch of new textures, so I'm going to create a thing that'll initialize all of our textures for us. All right. So let's come in here. I'm going to create a private, it's basically the same way we did it before, static dictionary using system.collections.generic. And I'm just going to steal some code I wrote previously, folks. I'm going to steal some code I wrote previously here. Let's close all of this. The code I wrote previously for our SFML sweeper. SFML sweeper, there should be board render. Here it is. This essentially, I want to do this thing again. I need this enum. These are the different textures I'm going to have. So we're going to steal this. And then I want to write this load textures again, like this. So we're going to have a load textures. And then we're going to take in this thing here. It's going to look like this. So we just want to load these textures in. It's going to be very, very similar to this chunk here. Can I just paste this in here? Sweeper board like this. And then sweeper image to texture 2D. Then we just got to swap out this to be our resource loader on the right side here. So our resource loader, images, buttons. We just got to swap these out a little bit like this. Perfect. So we're going to do this a bunch on each one of these. Let me kill. We're going to replace, do a control F. Can I do that? We want to replace it with this. And we want to replace this. Can we do that? Replace, boop, boop, boop. Okay. All right, we're gonna try to, stealing from your past. Yeah, I'm stealing from my past. You know, it happens. It happens. When you steal from your past, things go a little bit faster. Sometimes they get worse. Sometimes you confuse the heck out of yourself. All right, so this thing's gonna load textures when it initializes, I hope. And then the idea here is I should be able to set the texture this way, doing textures. Line 40 should be 1.png. Where did, thank you. Line 35, Todd Makes Game. Yet another amazing save by Todd Makes Games. 50 points to you. Then they'll ask, am I the only one who encounters my own code and thinks, dang, that guy was smart, I can never do that? I typically look at my past code and go, what the heck was I thinking? What an idiot. That's usually what I think when I see my past code. I'm glad you're so brilliant, because I am not. Let's see if we can make this sweeper image .6. Let's see if this will work. Let's do a little test run here. But Red Cabin Games, thank you so much for being here. We're playing around with Godot today. We've been doing MineSweeper a bunch of different ways. We're doing MineSweeper and Godot today. Okay, so that works. To get that in there, I kind of want to make it a sweeper button. And so my sweeper button, all right, so we're gonna see if we can make our sweeper button have, I do like that you can just instantiate it like this. I kind of like the nodes here better than components in Unity. I like this style. It sort of fits my style a little better. Anymore says, nah, I do it too. Oh my God, who wrote this? I ask myself, fully knowing that the only one working on the code. Roma, the developer, says, I always find myself using old code and modifying it for situation needed. Yeah, I try to do generalize stuff when I can. All right, so we're gonna have a texture 2D here for the texture, but this is gonna have, this is really just gonna be a private setter, a setter in here. And for now, the idea will be that we have a sprite. So we'll have a public sprite 2D sprite. And when we do this set, it's going to be sprite.texture is equal to value. So the texture 2D here that we set is going to just update the texture on the sprite. I'm going to make it private here, actually. So we're going to have this internal sprite, and that sprite's going to change when the texture changes. That's my idea, at least. And so when we're ready, my question is, can I initialize the sprite here? Does it have to be part of the array called when the node enters the scene tree for the first time? So when this enters the scene for the first time, this is so interesting to me. This is me relearning, like, what's the order in which these things occur? Like, you know, when I call ready, this reminds me of start and awake. Is ready happening? When does it happen? When I call the constructor, it creates this thing, but can I use it right away? So I have this thing where I'm going to be making a bunch of sweeper buttons. All right, so I want to be able to do this sweeper button equals new. And the idea here is I kind of want this to have a constructor. Can I give these constructors? This isn't a thing, so I can't give things constructors in Unity. Sweeper button position. So I want to say, okay, well, this thing's position is going to be position like this. And really, this shouldn't have a set on it at all. It's just like can be initialized. And then our sprite is going to be equal to a new sprite 2D like that. So it gets initialized this way. So after I call the constructor, I have those things. And then essentially when I set the texture, it should update it to match. And I'm going to go with starting texture. So I'll do a texture 2D texture. And we'll do sprite dot texture is equal to texture. So we'll start, this will be the way we initialize this thing like that. Yeah, Todd makes games ready is like start in Unity, update is process is like update in Unity. Gotcha. Thindle replying to Dragon's Rage again. Whenever I see previous code of mine, I am amazed, but usually more about how on earth I could have been that dumb. That's how I usually feel about my code. Is I feel like I write lots and lots of bad code. This saying it's be simplified, it looks, can be simplified. Okay, cool. We can do it that way. I like this. So my idea is, okay, I have a sweeper button. Let's try with position 0. This should be, let's try position 0, 0. And then the texture should be textures of 6. Let's try that. And then we want to add this as a child. Add child button. I kind of want to do this. Desired state says, I just think I should really write more comments. Yeah, so my general rule for my students, I think you can overwrite comments for sure, is that if you have something that's public things are required to be commented. That's my rule. They become outdated. So this is why I say if something's public, you need a documentation comment. So the document, I think you should write documentation comments, and the documentation comment specifically says what this method is, like what the inputs are supposed, like what are valid inputs and what is the results, not the implementation. Like what it's doing isn't important. It's like what it's supposed to do. Yes, the usage. And so my students, I always tell my students, anything that's public, you have to comment. And so it actually is a really good way to teach encapsulation, because suddenly they start making everything as private as possible because they don't want to have to write comments. And so then they sort of learn, oh, okay, I have to make this public now because I need it in this other spot. And so it's a really, really good way to teach encapsulation without just having to be a stickler about it. Okay. Yeah. So I use the summary comments like this. And then I have, so if we go to my Captain Coder core library, I use docfx So if I run this, this will actually generate some great UI stuff. Not great. This will generate a reasonable output. Oh, there's some stuff in. All right, never mind. Don't worry about that. We're gonna just pretend you didn't see it clear. That never happened. Shh. Okay. So I'm kind of hoping this will add in the button, and really, okay, for each position. This needs to have a captain coder core in here. Using captain coder core. Position in board.positions. We're gonna take all the positions in the board, and we're gonna create a position for each board position. And then this isn't going to be a text. The default texture is actually going to be the cleared sweeper image.cleared. What's interesting is I think I want to actually move this into my sweeper button. The board doesn't care about the button. The board doesn't care about the button's image. The button should care about the button's image. The board knows. It's interesting. I've actually kind of written something semi-poor here. I'm gonna have to, and when I go to refactor for my students, I will definitely be refactoring this a little bit. Okay, and really, this should have sort of a cell state associated. This isn't a sweeper board. This is a sweeper button, like this. Sorry, I'm jumping around the code so much right now. Let's continue here. I actually think I want this to be composed because I think I'm gonna actually turn it into a button at some point. Oh, we've been going for 90 minutes. I gotta take a break. Bear with me, folks. Really, the sweeper button is gonna have a reference to the board it's on. So we're gonna pass the board in like this, I think, and then this thing will know how to render itself or something. Or board.examine position. It's gonna take the examine position here. I'm a little not sure exactly what I want, but instead this is gonna have a cell as part of the constructor. This will be a cell info. And really, when we construct a new thing, I don't even know if I need this to start out. Yeah, so, or a reference to the board, something like that. But for now, the default textures is gonna be a sweeper image dot blank, because we don't know anything about it yet. All right, I just want to get in here like this. No semicolon there, semicolon here. Oh my goodness, I'm taking way too long here. All right, let us just run this real quick, and then I gotta go on break. Folks, when we come back from break, though, we're gonna get some stretching in, and you know what's gonna happen. When we come back, we're gonna stretch. So get your cousin, get your uncle. I'm a little sad that there's no images here. What happened? What happened? All right, folks. So hang tight. The captain will be back. I got to get some more bean water. I got to get a refuel on my regular water. And when we come back, we're going to take a nice stretch. So hang tight, everybody. I shall return momentarily. Thank you so much for bearing with me, folks. I hope that bear didn't get you. But we're gonna do some stretches, folks. We're back. We've got ourselves some delicious bean water. The bean water is a little too spicy, though. It's a little too spicy. Gotta let it cool off a little bit. And while we're doing that, while we're waiting to take that first tasty, delicious sip, we gotta take care of ourselves. So everybody get on up. The captain loves you, and you should love you. And if you love you, you gotta take care of that body, because you gotta love that body.
Pay attention.
Pay attention. That's right. You gotta take care of that body, and one way to do this is to stretch. Take care of yourself. Before that, though, we got a new crew member. We got Jaxodus. Jaxodus. Let me think. Jaxodus. Jaxodus. It's like 2.5 syllables. Let's see. We got it. Jaxodus is here today, and I'd like to say thank you for clicking that little heart and following me. Jaxodus, I thank you for joining up with the crew. I hope you enjoy your stay on this beautiful day. Thank you, Jaxodus, so much for the follow, my friend. We're gonna do a little bit of stretching here. And while we're stretching, we're gonna listen to some beautiful. Oh, it says it killed my stream, Proton. Proton, you got me. All right, we're gonna rewind that. All right, everybody, get on up. It looks like we're back. Get on up. So we're gonna do some stretches. We're gonna take care of ourselves. We're gonna stretch out these forearms. Take those palms, press them together. You're gonna push down. If you feel any pain in the wrist, any pain in the forearm, stop. You just want to stretch. Got scared of the stretching. Yeah, you're going to push down here until you feel that little tension in the forearms. And if you push out like this, if you're still not feeling anything, if you push out a little bit further and away from yourself, get that stretch in that forearms. We're going to hold this for 20 seconds, folks. This is an excellent stretch to help stave off the carpal tunnel, stave off those repeated stress injuries caused from typing. 10 more seconds, folks. I believe in you. Ooh, listen to that beautiful little intro. Love it. Proton. How do you come up with this stuff? It's incredible. All right, folks, with that forearms little stretch, go ahead and roll those wrists out. Nice. Get them nice and rolled out. Oh, yeah. Doesn't it feel good? All right, folks, everyone breathe in deep with me. Stretch up, reach up as high as you can. Get up on those tippy tops. Get on those tippy toes. Reach up into the air and push those muscles out. Get a nice stretch in. We're going to hold this. Oh, yeah. Doesn't it feel good? Ooh. 10 seconds, folks. Get that balance. If you need to, spread those feet a little bit wider to help keep that balance in. Oh, yeah. Then deep breath. We're going to take in a deep breath as you exhale. Go ahead and slowly roll down. Hinge at the hips. And we're just going to hang, folks. Don't lock the knees. You don't want your knees to be locked, because then you might cut off that blood flow and faint. We don't want that. We're really focusing on stretching the lower back. So you're hinging at the hips. Don't try and arch your back towards the ground. Instead, focus on that hinge there, and you're stretching the glutes and lower back. Oh, just hold this. Oh, if you can't touch the ground, that's okay. I just recently started touching the ground again. I was on vacation and wasn't stretching, and then I was sick and wasn't stretching, and then when I came back, since I couldn't touch my toes again, I'm almost there. Oh, yeah. All right, go ahead and breathe in for 4 as we do. Go ahead and roll up. Roll up. Shoulders up, back and down, and we're going to just roll those shoulders back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Get a full arm. 2, 3, 4. Bring it forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arm. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, shake it out, folks. We're gonna do some neck rolls next. Go ahead and have that head down. We're just gonna roll it around here. Oh yeah. Oh, get some nice rolls in. Oh, just taking care of ourselves a little bit. One more roll, and then we're gonna change directions here. Change that direction other way. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Feels good to just feel that blood slowly moving. Oh, last one here, bring it around. Oh yeah. Maybe move that head to the side, back for a little bit. You don't want to snap it backward, you don't want to pull anything. Oh yeah, shake it out, folks. Thank you so much for joining me at those stretches. I know you did. I know you're taking care of yourself. The captain loves you. You should love you. And 50 points to all of you for loving yourself so much. I appreciate you being here with me, joining me in those beautiful stretches, folks. And we've got a new crew member. Before we hop back in, I got to welcome this new crew member. That said, Proton Fig, beautiful music. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it very much. We appreciate your amazing music. We're going to hop back to our regularly scheduled music here. We got a new crew member, though. Real quick, folks. Bear with me just for a moment. Oh, come on. Music. Why won't you let me set your filter? This should be at... There we go. We've got a new crew member, folks. Astro Anuba. Astro Anuba. Thank you for following me. Yeah, we've got Astro Anuba. You are now a family. You are now a part of the family. Yeah. You are part of the crew. You are one of us. I don't know what I'd do if you were not here. Astro Anuba, welcome aboard, my friend. Astro, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm sure I got it wrong. If you would like me to pronounce it differently, do not hesitate to correct me. Nerd Waffle posted an image. I'm so sorry, my bot got you. What do we got here? Let's take a look. Here. Oh yeah, we have these. These are great. I have a bunch of different ones of these, of different weights. These are beautiful for stretching out those grip strengths. Very, and just, keeping those muscles nice. Put it on one finger. I have one that goes all the way down, I think, to 5 pounds up to like 300 pounds. So you can do it on just individual fingers if you want. It's beautiful stuff. But Astro Nuba, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Happy to have you. Proton, we'll check that one out in the future. I'm not going to check it out just right now. I want to focus. I need to try and finish this. Oh, let's reset our break timer. Because I have to stop here in about an hour. And I'm a little behind where I want to be. So I just want to make sure I can stay focused here. All right, I want to generate a grid of clickable images. That's what I want. But I do appreciate you sharing it with us. That was some beautiful music. Folks, give Proton some love. Bots moderating the humans, yeah. I like the stretching and overall health management. Yeah, gotta take care of yourself. Look, I did it for years. If you're like me, you got this horrible hunch going on from sitting at a computer all day. I fixed that, got a standing desk, fixed that overnight, boom, like that. I wish I got a standing desk sooner. I've got carpal tunnel on this side, whole hand goes numb. I got a keyboard for that. You got to take care of yourself, especially as a coder, because you don't realize how much damage you can be doing to yourself. ITC Studios, so happy to have you here, folks. The amazing Woomy here, indie game developer working on a game called Anomaly. See that beautiful pixel art on the screen? That is Woomy's. Don't forget, Woomy is taking commissions. If you want to get some stuff, those two beautiful cups of bean water and dark fuel there. That's a Woomy pixel art there. Look how beautiful those guys are. Love it. All right. What are we doing? Got to get this grid working. So I thought this would work, but for some reason it doesn't. I don't understand why. It was kind of okay. I bet I have to add, when we construct this thing, I need to add this as a child. Yeah. Add child sprite. I bet this is what I need to do. Let's try that. Oh yeah, you can, those repeated stress injuries just from existing and typing and working all day without taking the breaks that you deserve can cause so much trouble. All right, excellent. So now we have these little buttons. My question is, can we get them to arrange a little bit on the screen. So I have my grid. I'm pretty sure it's added in a bunch here. If we come into our remote, yeah, we got all of our images here. Beautiful. Can I set the names of those? That's a question. I'm sure I can. Just for my sanity. I'm doing fabulous, ITC. Any day I can wake up and code is a beautiful day, and today is no exception to that rule. We are working on, I've been implementing a bunch of different MineSweeper games. We're seeing if we can do it in Godot today. This is my first time ever really using Godot. So far, I'm liking it. So far, I like it quite a bit. One thing I'm really curious about is the stability of Godot web builds. So one thing I love about Unity is how solid the web builds are, and how performant they can be. So part of me is curious about the web builds in Godot as well. I will say that I am absolutely loving the developer community on Twitch. The game dev community is awesome. The general development, just like coding environment, tends to be pretty awesome too. Though there's a handful of people that I've run into that are maybe just a little too full of themselves. That is a little bit disturbing. And that's actually a lot more common in the real world with development than you might like. All right, so instead of a texture here, I actually want this to take in a cell info. And this setter here is going to allow us to update the image based on the cell info that's coming in. So we're going to do something special with that. And we'll deal with that as we get to it. We're getting so many new crew members today. Tackit14. Tackit14, thank you for following me. Oh, I gotta do a better song. Hang on. Tackit14. 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 4 syllables. Tackit14, you are now with the crew, and I'm so happy you are here today. Tackit14, welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy, my friend. You are welcome here today, where we learn to code and grow. Tackit14, welcome on this beautiful day. Tackit14, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Welcome aboard. I'm Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and I'm a computer science educator. So if you have any questions, program related or otherwise, do not hesitate to ask. Just keep those questions PG-11. We are a family-friendly stream here, folks. Family-friendly. I'm going to leave this to be implemented in a moment. I want to get the positions of these things set first. This is a node, so I'm curious about the internal positioning of this. So, position equals new, like how do I set a position of something? Is this dot position? This dot position is the thing I want. Dot transform. How do you change the position of an element? All right, so we're gonna ask ChatGPT real quick. How do I set the position of a node in Godot using C#? Let's try that. Tackit14 says, oh, appreciate the greeting. Good coding session, Captain. Happy to have you here. I appreciate you being here. If I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, do not hesitate to let me know. I thought I'd look for a transform. Do not hesitate to let me know whether or not I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, because I'd like to make you feel welcome. I like to get it right. Dragon's Game says, yeah, me too. I keep looking at it since they released Godot 4, but haven't started. Also, don't want to get distracted from making Gaia. Yeah, I don't have any big projects, so it's all small things. Astro Anuba says, hey bro, can you briefly explain what the code is about? I'm a beginner in C#. Sorry for interrupting. No, please don't interrupt. Oh, no, not please don't. Please do not apologize. I love when people ask me questions. I love getting into it. Do you have a specific question about the code? I can talk about a variety of things. So I'm trying to set the position of my button right now. So I have like this idea of a board. I'm making a MineSweeper game. The idea here is there appears to be, transform 2D. I'm just, this dot transform. See, there doesn't appear to actually be a transform. Here, does this need to be a node 2D? Oh, these might need to be node 2Ds. That's weird that that got left out there. All right, node 2D. Let's try that. Let's see if this breaks anything. Now that it's a node 2D, does this dot transform? There we go. Now that it's a transform 2D, I can place it somewhere. So I can explain what I'm doing right now. When I create a sweeper button, the transform tells us information about how it is positioned on the screen. So I would like to make this, the transform, I'd like to set it to be in the proper position for a MineSweeper board. So I'm adding in a grid of MineSweeper buttons that you can click on. 2D or not 2D? That is the question. That's right, Nerd Waffle. 2D or 3D or not 2D? That's right. So we're going to, I don't know. That was a terrible, I tried to make a pun there, failed. For everyone for having to listen to that terrible pun, 50 points to all of you. I appreciate you guys for not leaving. Sorry for those who already left. Dragon Spirit says, I need to get a first level out at least somewhere this year. Doesn't have to be perfect, but should be performance so that I can start a Kickstarter and set up a Steam page. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm interested to see your game. All right, transform equals. Let's see what this said here. A new transform. Okay, so a new transform 2D. I'm gonna have this be, so it's an X and a Y, an X and a Y. And so let's try position dot column times, and I know the size of these buttons are 49, so I should create a constant here. Public const button size is equal to 49. I'm gonna do button size here, and then position. And if you want to ask a more specific question, Astro, do not hesitate to do so, because I would be happy to do my best too. If you have like a specific question, like, hey, how would I go about creating X? Feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer it. Sometimes they're a little bit too big to answer just on stream, but I love when people ask them. Position dot row. This is interesting. Transform 2D. Why did it what is this complaining about? Can I convert int to Godot vector 2? Transform dot. Let's look here. Transform equals new transform. All right. Equals new transform 2D. X-axis, Y-axis origin. X rotation origin. Okay. So we're gonna try 0 and then new vector 2. Okay, we're gonna try this new vector 2. Okay, it likes that. And then we're gonna do a based off our position dot column times button 5, position dot row times button size. We're gonna see if this will work. I don't know. This is my first. I'm just sort of fiddling around with Godot. Fiddling around with the API, trying to figure it out, and using my intuition of how, like, what a vector is, what a transform is, to get it right. Astro says, I would like to know how you are using reference, and is there a best practice to use references? I'd like to know how you are using reference. When you say using reference, do you mean references? And so there's a thing called a reference in C#, or are you referring to like the documentation? Could you, and I apologize, I'm such a simpleton that I often struggle to understand what people are asking. So I apologize for that. Do your best, if you can, to be a little bit, can you add a little bit more clarity to that? I'm sorry that I'm not understanding the question. And if someone understands it a little bit better, let me know. At least I'm not a singleton. Yeah, man, in C#. Oh, so you're asking about reference types in C#. Okay, let me test this real quick, and then I'm gonna create a little test project that we can talk about. I wanna see if this will actually position my images on the screen. There we go. We got a grid. And of course the origin 0, 0, which happens to be this top left. We just need to shift this stuff down by half the size. Ooh, that was cool. That was cool. Okay, so you're asking about reference types. Let's just make a new project here. Make their demo proj. And we can talk about reference type.NET new console project. We'll talk about some C# stuff. And let's open up this. Let's create a new project here to talk about what a reference type is. So we have reference values, and we have reference types and value types. Reference types and value types. And I think this is what you're asking. So let me know. So there's this idea of a value type. So let's say I create a variable called int x equals 5. All right. If I do console, so an integer here is just a whole number. A whole number, so like no decimals allowed. Console.writeLine x is, and then we give it x. All right. So it's gonna show us what x is. I can do x plus plus. This will increase x by 1. And then x is it. So this should print out x is 5. It increases by 1 and it says x is 6. I can even do x plus equals 5. This will add 5 to it. And now it should print out x is 11. So if I run this program, .NET run, we should get that information out here. And so this is just a value type. So an integer is a value type. What does that mean? So that means it's passed by its value. So it's copied anytime you pass it off to like a method or function. Let's write a function, add to x, or increase var. And we're gonna call this int the z, or value, increase value. That's what we'll do, value, like this. And then I'm gonna do value plus equals 5. Value plus equals 5. This can be a little bit confusing because we're going to pass in a value here. So I do increase value and I say x here. Increase value x, and I do a console.writeLine, and I'll do x is x. The question we want to ask ourselves is, what is the value of x going to be when I print this out? So it was 11 on this line. And then we pass it into this increase value here, and then we increase value by 5. So because this is a value type, when we run this program, let's run it real quick, we'll check it out. X is 11. This is a little bit confusing because the value, aren't we increasing it by 5? Well, this is a value type. And so whenever you pass this into, it actually copies it. So it's not a reference type, it's a value type. So integers are value types. There's a lot of things that are value types. Basically, if you look at it, the way you can tell it's a value type in C# is it a struct? Structs are value types. C# also provides us with what we call a reference type. A reference type here. All right, so I'm gonna create a class called a int wrapper. All right, so this is an int wrapper. Inside of this, it's gonna have a member variable called x inside of it. And we can create one of these. I'm gonna create a constructor, int wrapper. And let me close that down here so we can make it. And remember, int value, and actually I'm gonna just call this value. Value like this. And then when we construct this thing, value is gonna be equal to the value we passed in. Okay, so there's something interesting here now. We have this value type. I'm gonna create a new int wrapper, int wrapper, x wrapper. And this is gonna be equal to a new int wrapper, and we're gonna start it out at 7. Okay, and I can do a console.writeLine, x wrapper is, and I do x wrapper dot value like this. X wrapper dot value. I cannot do x wrapper plus plus, but I can do x wrapper dot value plus plus. This will increase it, and then I can do x wrapper value plus equals 5 like this, and we print it out. And if we run this whole thing, here, well, it should work sort of similar. We see 7 plus 1 is 8 plus 5 is 13. Beautiful. But now we're going to have a new method called increase wrapper value, and it's going to take in an int wrapper, and this is going to be our wrapper, and this is going to do our wrapper dot value plus equals 5. So this question here is, okay, this is a reference type. So it doesn't copy the value. Instead, it passes a reference, ability for us to access where it is in memory. And then let's do an increase wrapper value X wrapper. So this is sort of like a weird little thing here. And we're gonna print out that wrapper there. The question is, what does this print out? Well, because it's a reference type, we're actually accessing the same data. It doesn't get copied, it gets passed in as a reference. So we get 7, 8, 13, 18, even though on this other one, we only get the reference was copied, it doesn't actually modify anything. All right, so this is the structural, the mechanical thing, but what's happening here in memory? The question is, what's happening here in memory? And it's a little bit tricky, but we're gonna draw a diagram. We're gonna go to my document cam here, which we haven't used in a while. Well, let's pull up our doc cam here. So we have our doc cam. We're a little off center here. Let's see if we can get that. Where's my pen? All right, so we have our doc cam. And so the idea, there's these two different places in traditional coding, there's two different places where you can have data stored. We have the stack. Oh, this is in highlight mode. We have a place called the stack, and we have a place called the heap. So these are the two places that you typically store data in memory. The stack refers to where our function calls are. Let me see if I can get the code side by side here. I'm gonna turn the chat off so we can actually see it. Let's turn chat off, chat. So we can see the code here on the side while I'm writing this code out, and let's close. Beautiful. All right, so the stack is usually where our value types live. The stack is where our value types usually live. And so when I say int x equals 5 in my code, I end up with a value on the stack labeled x, and it has a value of 5. Okay, and so this is sort of our main method. And then each time I modify it, when I get to the line plus plus, it increases it to 6. When I get to the line that says plus 5, it increases it to 11, like that. When I get to this line that says increase value x, we actually create something called a new stack frame. So we're in our main here. We create a new stack frame called increase value. And it has an argument x, and it has its own slot on the stack called value. And we copy this 11 into, we copy the 11 into that value. And then we execute the code inside. So we keep a reference, say, well, when we're done, we're gonna come back here. So value plus equals 5, that's referring to this variable here. And when we increase this by 5, it becomes 16. And then when we exit, we pop it off the stack. So we lose this stack frame. It goes away, and our code returns here. And this is now our context again. And when we go to do this line where we print it out, we get X printed out. Okay, so that's what we've done here as far as value types go. As far as value types go, lives on the stack. I hope this is legible. When we get to this line here, we create a new stack variable called X wrapper. So we have an X wrapper here, but it's a reference type. Reference types almost always, there's some minor exceptions, live on the heap. And so this actually creates a heap variable. This is why it's called an object. It's an object that lives on the heap. And it has this classification down here. So it happens to be an int wrapper, and it has a space for a single value, an int thing called value. And because in our constructor we passed in the number 7, value happens to be 7. And then we have a reference. This is why it's called a pointer in a lot of languages. A reference that points to that object on the heap. So next, we come in here and we say, this is what this dot is saying we do. We have X wrapper dot value. That says, look up the reference. This is also why I drew a dot here. It says, go to that dot, follow the arrow, and then run it on this chunk here. So value plus plus, this becomes 8. Okay, and then when we print it out, we pull it out. Value plus equals 5. We follow the arrow. The dot says follow the arrow. We come over to this 8. We increase it by 5. It becomes 13. Then we have this function increase wrapper value. Increase wrapper value. We create a new stack frame. So we have increase wrapper value. So we have a new stack frame here. It has a variable on it called wrapper. All right, so it has a variable on it called wrapper. And we make a copy, not of the value. Well, we do make a copy of this. This happens to be the value. This thing happens to be that. We make a copy of the reference to it. So this creates a copy of that variable that's passing. So these both are pointing to the same thing. They're both referring, they're references to the same thing. So now when I do wrapper.value plus equals 5, we follow the arrow, we increase it by 5 and it becomes 18. Then we exit this stack frame. So this then gets removed. We're back in our code here at this line. And we do x.wrapper.value. It follows the arrow and we get 18 out. So that's the general idea between a value type and a reference type. How is this value type, how is this variable treated when you pass it into a function? Do we pass the reference or do we pass the value? Do we copy the value or do we pass the reference? So I believe it was Astro who asked. Astro, I hope that was helpful. I hope that made sense. Thank you everyone for being here for that. I hope it was useful. Let me click the little mark button here because we can do that. That seemed like a nice little thing here. Add that little mark in. So I hope that was helpful. Let's see, what did I miss in Strap? And the thing that took me forever was the Liskov substitution principle. It didn't just connect in my brain. I'm not even sure what the Liskov substitution principle is. I'm not sure I've heard that name before. I'd be interested to look it up. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. Muna says, let me spit a rhyme about int. It's a data type that's important, my friend. An integer is a whole number. No fractions, positive, negative, or even zero actions. You can add them, subtract them, multiply, or divide. No decimals involved. You can't hide integers. Are used in programming. It's true. They make calculations and logic come true. I'm sorry I killed that, Mooniz. I'm sorry I killed that. I think that might have been because I was saying wrapper over and over. Mups, it says, Captain is doing a great job explaining. Thank yous for that. Astro, I hope that was useful. I hope that was useful. It takes some practice. We also got the Dev Dad peeking in here. Dev Dad, I hope you had a beautiful morning, my friend. Were you ever able to get your the web server deployed? I'm curious if you're able to get the web server deployed. Astro, I'm super grateful. It's cleared all my doubts. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. If you have any more questions, do not hesitate to ask. Oh, Liskov is the L in solid. I thought solid was a single, open, close. Hell, is Liskov principle? I'll have to look up exactly what it is. I'm fairly familiar with solid design. I just don't know. I don't know if I understand what Liskov is. That's okay though. I try to practice solid. Is that the, so open, O is open, close. We're very close to resolving the core issue. I bet 1 or 2 more attempts, so definitely by end of day. Awesome, Dev Dad. Awesome to hear. Zizou is following Zizou. I would like to welcome you to the crew, my friend, on this beautiful day. We've got Zizou 0638. Zizou, thank you so much for following me. Captain Coder, thanks so much for following the Captain. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy, where we learn and code and grow together. If you have any questions, programming related or otherwise, doesn't have to be a programming question, do not hesitate to ask. Just keep it, just keep it PG-11. We've got a ton of following today. It's beautiful. I'm enjoying it very much. I'm so glad people are having a good time. Liskov is basically user interfaces. Okay. So that's essentially, I use interfaces all the time. You know me. Dragon Spirit says, I think I already followed 5 new people. Awesome. Well, I'm glad we're sharing the love here. We're glad we're sharing the love. Okay. So we've got, so Muniz was asking, how's the Godot going? It's going pretty good. We've got ourselves a little grid here. It's a little off center, so we're gonna have to add a little bit into that. We got to make it so we can click on these things and get a click listener. I don't know how to do that yet, but we're gonna figure it out. So the actual transform, we need to have plus button size divided by 2, I believe. Button size divided by 2 plus button size divided by 2. So that way it's in the top left corner rather than being, let's try that. So because it is the origin is at the center of the sprite. And so we just have to shift it down by half the size. So we shift it over. So we have this grid. All right, I just need to make it so I can click on these things. So I don't know how to do that, but we're gonna look into it. Muna says his principle states that if S is a subtype of T, then objects of type T should be replaced with objects of type S. Yeah. That's just like good polymorphism principles. Use interfaces. Yeah, use interfaces. Dragon Spirit Games says, I got it by now. I mean, I've been programmed for over 2 years, but I came from a monolithic programming and it took a while to click my brain. Yeah, so my first programming language was BASIC, which I don't even think BASIC supported classes or modules or anything. It was just like, I think it was just one giant file. And so that was an interesting, I remember my first language with multiple files, I think it was Pascal. And so multiple files was a big deal. I was like, oh, this is so nice. I remember my first program I ever wrote was 18,000 lines of basic code with a zillion functions and Go. You have your Go subs and Go tos to jump to lines. It was wild. It was a wild process. Would not recommend. Would not recommend. All right, so we have this positioned. All right, let's ask ChatGPT a question. How do I listen for mouse clicks on a Node 2D or on a Node 2D in Godot using C#? Let's try that. To listen to mouse clicks on a Node 2D in Godot using C#, you can connect it to input events. Signal and check for input event mouse button. Ooh, that seems like a nice little thing there. Dragon Spirit says, gotta scoot. Unfortunately, I love being in the stream and will definitely come again if I have a chance. Dragon Spirit, thank you so much for the follow again. Welcome to the crew. As always, keep coding, keep growing, be the best you can be, and you are welcome back anytime. Have a beautiful day, my friend. I will not be here tomorrow, but I'll be here on Saturday, same time, 8 a.m. Eastern. Have a beautiful day. All right, so let's check it out here. Connect. It's interesting that they do the name of here. We're gonna look at the connect method. We're gonna look at the connect method here. Can I make that a little wider? So we have the node.connect input event. I hate stringly type stuff like that, but it happens. This name of on input event, and then we can check to see if it's a mouse event. And this may not be the only way to do it. Okay, so my question is, the sweeper button, does this have a size because it has a sprite inside of it, or should I add this to my sprite? Let's try sprite because it's a node.connect. Signal name. Okay, signal name is the input. So I'm gonna make it so it's a click on the sprite input event, and then it's a callable. A callable. It's interesting that it's having a. I'm just looking at the ChatGPT callable. Connects a signal. Oh, let's go look and read the documentation. Excuse me. Mupsis asks, what is ChatGPT? I'm behind the times, but you are asking that gives you answers. I'm blown. Essentially, you can think of it as like a really, really fancy Google. It uses language processing, natural language processing to try and figure out what I'm asking, then uses the internet as its source to generate. It uses natural language processing to say, like, what is this actual question? And then it basically uses some kind of Markov chain to say, okay, this is the most likely. It finds a bunch of sources and like combines those sources together. It's pretty fancy way to start learning something, though it doesn't always do the best job. It's basically slightly quicker responses than Google. It takes an aggregate. What I'm going to say is that I feel like it takes an aggregate of what you might find on Google. So it looks at like all the sources on Google, or not just Google, but on the internet, and tries to combine them into one answer that is programmatically generated at random. Connects the signal by name. All right, so on ready, button down, read this documentation, but it's helping me find which methods I want. Yeah, it works really, it's really quite good. If you don't know what you're doing at all, as from programming perspective, it gives you a lot of really bad things in my mind. A new callable, connect button.signalName.buttonDown. Okay, so we got better events here. So we could do, wanted to be a mouse thing, button.signalName.mouse, button down. All right, so when we click button.signalName, is this gonna be a mouse button? What, let's go look at what signals they have. So it looks like button.signalDown. Which signal should I use in Godot for left mouse button? Using C#. It's an input event. So it's wanting me to connect it just to input event. That's not the one I want. Maybe it was input event. If it is an input event mouse button. I'm just, so this is why I'm saying, like, the document, so it's generating this thing, but the documentation's telling me something different. So one thing to keep in mind is that it's trained on data that is maybe a little bit older. I think the version I'm using, 3.5, was trained on data from 2021, but it might be 2022. Hit by signal name. All right, signal name dot. Just need to find the different signals. We'll try this because button is a standard themed button. It can contain anything. It's not really the button. I want the left mouse button. I get owned by this delay of data sometimes. Yes. So you need to really take what is generated by it with a major grain of salt. A major grain of salt. We'll try input event. I don't really like it. And then it's saying I want to pass in a new callable. So notice the arguments aren't even right here. The arguments it's telling me to pass in are incorrect as well. It's novel to, yeah, so I've used it quite a bit for a variety of things. This is what I tell my students. I was like, you can tell when something's generated with ChatGPT very, very easily. Godot, object, target, and method name. So it's close on this. The target is this. This is kind of dumb. It feels dumb to give it the name of, so we'll do name of, and then we'll do public private void on click. And my question is name of on click. And it kind of is telling me that the method should have these arguments, but we're gonna look over at the documentation. Ready, button down, callable on button down. Yeah, so it's not taking in any arguments there. So I really don't know what it's gonna give me back. I want it to be on a mouse event. Upset says, if it's learning from Google search and it doesn't know good and bad, that may be a problem. Yeah, so you often have to learn how to refine what you're asking. It can do a lot of really interesting things, especially non-trivial things. That sad cloud emote is so sad, Mooniz. So sad. So also keep in mind, learning is a strong word for this. It is literally the way it works is that basically generates text and it says, what's the most likely next word to generate here? And it just sort of like puts things together in that way. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on it. gd.print I was clicked. And then we'll do our position. So let's try that. I really liked SFML, guys. I really liked it. So I'm not seeing any clicking happening here. Yeah, so it likes to do that. It likes to tell you things that are not real. And we experienced that a little bit earlier too. It gave me the wrong. So for example, this method with these arguments does not exist. And the input event doesn't seem to accept these parameters. Let me try it. My guess is that this wouldn't work though. Yeah, it learns it because it figures out those waves. Yeah, I don't know what event I want. Mouse button dot signal, right? All right, so we're gonna do an actual Google. Add a mouse button click to sprite Godot. How to click a sprite. Let's say you have a sprite, new rectangle, the hard-coded way. Clicking the top sprite. There's a lot here. Is this supposed to be a tutorial? Oh, it's a guide. Okay. We have a sprite. Well, that was interesting. Why does it want me to be logged in? Sure. Let's take a look here. Structure, input event. So of course it's not going to be in C sharp. Zoc Fire. I'm so sorry I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sure. Thank you so much for the raid. Whoa, welcome aboard. Welcome, Zoc Fire. I don't know how to pronounce. Zoc Fire. Thank you for the raid. Zoc Fier. Zoc Schwer. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. Thank you so much for the raid. Folks, if you're not following, shout out. Let me spell it right here. Give them a follow. Thank you so much for the raid, folks. See that little heart button? Give them some love. Thank you so much for raiding. You got any? Let me give you a VIP status so you can share some links if you need to. If you have any links you'd like to share, do not hesitate to do so. We'd love to check them out. How was your stream? And welcome aboard. We got about 30 minutes left here. We're playing around with Godot, trying to get some buttons in here. So it does kind of look like, let me try C sharp. Detect clicked sprite in C sharp. I'm trying to figure out how to detect. It's easy to find a solution for this online, but how would you do it in C sharp? And it's in Godot 4 is the other thing that we're looking for specifically. The code found was for Godot 2, so this is why it changed in Godot 3. So it probably changed again in Godot 4. So hang on. Godot 4 API. I want to look at the API, all classes. Let's see if we can find connect in here. Let's connect. Object classes, signals. I just need to know what the signal name is in Godot 4 for a mouse click. That's all I want to know. That's what I want. Let's close this. Godot 4, because it's saying click. What is the signal name for a mouse click in Godot 4? Godot 4 signal, mouse button signal. Where do we get it? Where does it come from? I don't know. Mouse click signal. Mouse input. Godot 4 recipes. That looks promising. This is old enough that it probably won't be helpful. Input event mouse is the base class for mouse events. It contains position global things. Input event, is this Godot 4? So yeah, 4.x. Handled event is unhandled input event. How do I get this added into my sprite? I have all these extra windows open here. Let's close that. Mouse, let's do mouse input event mouse button mouse input event mouse dot signal name dot what signal name, the class signal name. This is what's signal name dot signal name input event mouse storage general mouse input events. It has a signal name public so it wants me to construct it though. I feel like there should be this is wild. This is wild. I just want to do a mouse click. Look. It feels like it shouldn't be this hard. Input event mouse button dot signal name dot toString. If input.getMouse down 0, that's essentially would be okay. I'd be okay if we had that. Can I put this here? What? I don't understand. I don't understand how to use a mouse input. Like, where do I put this code? And where do I get the C# version of it? Godot handle mouse, Godot 4 handle mouse click. It brings me here. Input event mouse. All right, let's see if there's a thing here. Godot documentation is being updated to reflect the changes. This page, the contents of this page are up to date. If you cannot find it outdated, and if you still find outdated in tutorials, mouse input and coordinates. Okay. The hardware displays, C# script, public override input. Okay, so maybe everything has an input like this, because this is an underscore input. So there's an override that maybe we're putting on viewport to get this. Okay, so we're gonna try this real quick. I'm gonna try and do this. Check if I can do 4-letter all caps emo. I think I took the all caps thing off. All right, so we're gonna try this, just to see what happens here. So my question is, do you just add this in? That's not really what I want, to have this event where I have to check a bunch of stuff. But we're gonna check it out here. I would like to register these like events. Zoc says, this is my Steam page. There's a playtest version, but there currently isn't tutorial. Hopefully it's kind of self-explanatory. Folks, if you haven't done it yet, I haven't done it. You gotta go check out this store page. This store page, you gotta add it to your wish list, and then check out the demo, Rumpletown. Oh, I have seen you working on Rumpletown. This looks like such a cool little game. I love the art style in this. Is this all your own art style? I love the art style. I love the cards. This game looks cool. I'm definitely gonna check this out. Where's the download? Do I have to be in Steam to download it? Do I have to click request access to get a demo? What do I click to get the demo version? Cool. It's all about Asprite. Asprite's good stuff. You can click request access. Okay, so I'm gonna do that when I'm not on stream so that I can do it with my not stream account. All right, so we're gonna check here, see if this input thing does anything. So it's doing it for a lot of stuff. So I don't want it to fire always. I only want it when it's within bounds. So it's literally fine for everyone anytime I do anything. That's not really what I want. I want there to be an event that says I clicked on something. So I could do it this crazy hard way. This feels like a crazy hard way. Lakia Gaming, hi all, came in with the Zach raid. Welcome aboard, Lakia Gaming. So nice to see you again. How are you? I'm pretty sure I've seen you. Maybe you haven't been on my stream, but welcome aboard if you haven't been here. I've seen you in other streams. But happy Thursday. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Yeah, so I would like to get it so that it doesn't care about. I guess I could move this to my high level sweeper board and just have the one. All right, so we could do this. And I really dislike that format there. That's probably it, Lakia. I've probably been to your stream. Yeah, I'm following you. So that's probably where I've been. I don't know if I've seen you in a while. But welcome aboard. Welcome to the crew, Lakia Gaming. Welcome to the crew, my friend. You are here. You are one of us. I love to have you here till the end. Lakia Gaming, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy, my friend. Happy Thursday. Lance says, I have found ChatGPT is pretty good at explaining things, even if the code isn't always correct. It was able to explain the differences between delegates, events, and actions fairly well. It won't write your whole code base, but it can get things started. You'll still have to do the hard work as it should be. And it has it's been great with story prompts to get the muse flowing. Yeah, it's pretty good in a variety of things. It's an interesting tool to explore. All right, so I don't like this. I want it to connect that mouse input event here. All right, so let's keep reading. Alternatives possible to ask for a viewport for the mouse position. Are there like listeners? That's what I don't quite get here. So this is just in our generic input event, unhandled input. Can I add, sorry, so let's go to our sprite. 2D sprite animations. I really just want to add in a listener on that button itself. It shouldn't have to fire a zillion input events every time something happens. This should just happen once. It should sort of be able to find out if it's over a button. And I just, you know, it's a little bit annoying here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do it to this position. Position, I guess. So we're gonna take this input event, which is a vector 2, and we gotta translate it to our position in the game. So we'll do in event. I'm just gonna pull this out. Mouse click. So if it's a button, we're gonna get a click. Click and unclick. So this is annoying that it's a click unclick. There has to be a better way to do this. Should be we're gonna do this for now. We're gonna hard code this in this way. Hard code, I don't like vector to click. If it's event and event dot can we click? How do we tell if it's a click? Is pressed. Return true if the event but is pressed. Not relevant to event types of motion due to the keyboard pressing. So how do I tell if the mouse is clicked? Was it is pressed? Mup says, is there something in C# something hands that are going through do, or are you pretty much tied to the Go framework the way you're doing it? So that's a good question, Mup says. I've done it. So we're playing around with Godot. So we did. This is our 4th version of MineSweeper this week. We did a console version. We did a SFML version. So I did it in SFML, and this was my favorite way to do it so far because it was so easy. It stands for Simple Fast Media Library. It was super easy. It was super fast to get all this up. It was very intuitive to me. Yeah, so this is sort of where I am with it. So I, the answer is no, I'm not tied to Godot. This is me exploring Godot for the first time and finding, so this is one of the big things with larger tools like Godot. Is that there's so much in it that you have to learn. I really want something super lightweight, small, that my students have to implement this stuff directly in. Astro says, Doc, why do we have to use override there? This is because it is coming from a super class. So input is something that we need to override because it's overriding an implementation from above. We should probably put sealed in there for maximum performance. Yeah. And it says, I can also say that version 4 is a whole new world in terms of code. Sometimes gets confused, but if I explain the limitations or restrictions as I go, I can get 0 in or a basic solution pretty quick. Okay, so let us keep looking here. And is pressed? It clearly, okay. So there's things like this that I don't like about Godot. This should probably be a property, not a method. So there's a handful of things I'm not liking about the Godot just interface. The tooling, part of me knows that because we're using override here, that it's gonna actually be quite a bit if every single node has an input and you're not overriding it. So Unity does a bunch of really clever things to avoid having these overrides, which make it incredibly performant. Pressed. Pressed. There is no pressed. Event is mouse button, and then you use that mouse button. Oh, thank you. Event mouse button dot pressed. Thank you, Muniz. Once again, for your contributions, 50 points, my friend. Mupsis says, that's a great lesson if they carry on to industry. Sometimes you can't hack around a framework complexity or deficiency in general, but not just game dev. Yes, absolutely. So we're implementing MineSweeper in as many ways as possible. Not as many ways, but in several ways this week. Just to play around with it. Okay, pressed, that makes sense. If true, the mouse button state is pressed. If false, the button is released. All right, so we only care about the click. I kind of care about whether it's the left or right, but we're gonna ignore that for now. Clicked position. We need to translate this to a captain coder position on board. Would be our clicked position. McNet, sorry again. I need to add in the Godot as an option here. I'm not using the button class. I'm using a sprite class. So I'm not using buttons. I could make a button instead, but that's not what I want to do. Good point though. Yes. Do not apologize. Do not apologize. I'm just pointing out that I'm explicitly wanting to create my own. I want to use a sprite. I suppose I could probably put a sprite in there, but I don't happen to be using the button class right now. But I could, and it might be the smarter way to do it, the easier way to do it. Yeah, no, McNets, please don't apologize. I appreciate it. I really do. McNets, for your contributions, 50 points, because I probably should actually be using a button instead of a sprite. It's just the sprite is what I have. So I'm like going down this rabbit, like, what if I want to make it so you can click on a sprite? And so that's where I'm at right now. Event mouse button index equals mouse button to the left. Yeah, so I'm just not there yet, Mooniz. I'm not there yet. I want to translate this position dot x. Okay. And so it's going to be dot y. divide it. So we need to shift it. This is why I was hoping I could make it that I just make it if the sprite got clicked, because now I have to do like this weird translation where I take the size of the button, sweeper button dot button size divided by 2, and then divide by the sweeper button dot button size. All right, so I need to like translate it. So private int from on screen position, and is this a float? Probably, yeah, it's a float chord, and so this needs to work this way essentially, and this would be chord. And then this should be essentially translated to an int, like that. Okay, I think so. Then we'll do a position that is from on screen position, clicked position dot y, from on screen position, clicked position dot x. So we translated it to our button on the board itself. And then we'll just have it say, okay, well, what button did we click on board? This is a really weird way to do this as well, on board. To have the arguments passed in that way, it feels a little bit inherent. Mouse click. All right, let's try it. See how we did. Viewport resolution, I wanted to drop that. So for example, this override to me kind of implies, if we were to look at the superclass, that everything had, literally every single node, every time my mouse moves on the screen, every single one of my nodes is getting a little notification that's just returning. And that is kind of crazy to me. All right, row 6, so this should be 0, 0. All right, so it's not quite, the position feels a little bit off. So if I click in this top right corner here, I'm a little bit off. I have to be super clear about if I'm in the center, it's fine. But it's not quite, seems to be off by the half thing here. What if I got rid of this? Or do I divide it by that first? Here, let's try this. This doesn't seem right to me. But now it's probably actually is correct because of the vectors. Yeah, this is actually correct. Because, okay, so here's a silly thing. This screen, when I position things, is using Y starts 0, 0 as the top left of the screen as I come down and over. But these things are positioned based off like a center origin, but it's not true for when I click on the screen, which is interesting. Anyway, I'm able to click on these and get the row in position like that. Let us, after this input happens, essentially we're gonna call our board.reveal on the button we clicked. All right, so the position we clicked gets a reveal, and we need to redraw board. Redraw board. Private void redraw board. And this essentially is going to loop through every position in our board. It's going to examine the board. So we're going to hit the cell contents. So cell contents here. And then we need to look up, we need to keep a reference to these actually. Okay, so these positions, we need to keep a reference to these. How come you're checking input in the board class and not on the buttons? Because when I put this input on the subclass, it is firing for every button, everything, every time I move my mouse anywhere on the screen, it fires on every single one of them. And so I don't like that. So this is something that I actually really dislike about the Godot framework right now, is I actually know, because this is an override, it means that any event literally gets passed to every node on the entire screen. And the default behavior is basically just to ignore it. So that is a really, if you have 1,000 things on the screen, every time you move your mouse, every time you click, it's actually sending 1,000 little messages, which are really, really fast little messages. But as you get more and more nodes on the screen, it becomes very, very slow, unless they're doing some optimization later that I don't know about. It's actually the main reason why Unity doesn't use override. They do a very clever bytecode injection that says, if we happen to have a method called this thing, then we know that we need to check it. But because we're using this override, unless they're doing something really clever, there's actually going to be some implications of slowdown, like legitimate slowdown if you have a scene with 10,000 things on it, because every time any event happens, it's going to be an issue. Revere says, but can we use question in Godot on a game object? I think so. It's using .NET 6. It's using .NET 6. McNet says, in fact, Windows uses a main loop for all the messages too. Yes, it does. It does. But it's not necessarily, you can do clever things to avoid that. You don't have to pass that message to every single object. Yes, there's an event that's capturing it, but you don't need to pass that event to every single object in your scene. That is what's happening here. The event is getting propagated down to every single node in the scene. And the reason I know this to be true is because when I had it on my button, it was just sending messages to my buttons, even though it wasn't actually detecting whether or not it was on that button. So every single event gets passed to every single object in the scene. In debug mode, that's true. Maybe in release mode, they do something smart. I don't know. But you will run into implication with that. That said, folks, we do have a new member in the crew today, Lion Crush 7. Lion Crush 7, I would like to welcome you to Captain Coder's Academy, where we learn to code and grow together as a happy family. Lion Crush 7, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Superdan says you can use signals delegates instead. I would like to do that. I couldn't figure out how to send a signal to my sprite. And so this is sort of where this is where I'm at right now. I never claimed this was the best. This is literally my first time using Godot. It feels a little bit, it's new. It's new to me. So I've been using it for a grand total of about an hour and 40 minutes at this point. So not very long. There are things I'm really liking about Godot right now. There are things that I don't like. This override thing, I don't like this. Override thing. It's more traditional, but this tells me that literally every event gets propagated to every single node that's in your scene. And I don't like that. Although it might just be unhandled events, I'm not sure. Vin Spiegel, hello, welcome back, my friend, welcome back. Let's see, I like to translate these to English. You are Guardian Stone, that's right, Guardian Stone, welcome back, my friend. Godot has a lot of nodes that are suited for different person. It takes time to learn all of those and when to use them, though, for sure. Yeah, so that's essentially, it's me, I'm brand new to it. I'm seeing if I can get it to do a MineSweeper game. We're close. I just got to get this redraw board here. So Doc, how does Unity overcome? They do a special compilation, so they don't have override here. Instead, they have magic methods. They have magic methods in Unity, so you actually don't put override here. Instead, they do a special thing during compilation that says, if you happen to have that method, then we're gonna actually do a bytecode injection. We're gonna write some code for you so that we don't have to pass it to everything. So they do special optimizations for it. Yesterday we did SFML. The day before that we did mono game. I really liked SFML. SFML was awesome, so lightweight and so easy to use and intuitive for me. In my opinion, SFML was awesome for the lightweightness of it. I probably will use it to build a lot of my tools. Super Dan, I want to build a game. I want to build a dungeon crawling engine, my friend. I'm having so much fun with the dungeon crawler stuff. I can't wait for the next jam. I cannot wait. Have you ever used Raylib? I haven't used Raylib. Good question, Seshumara. I haven't used it. Chess, thank you for asking. All right, so I want to get this draw working. We're so close. I got to keep a reference to each one of our things here real quick. I'm gonna hyper focus just for a second, folks. I'm gonna hyper focus. September 1st. Oh, that's a terrible time. That's a terrible time. I probably won't be able to do it. That's like the first week of school for me. It's terrible time for me, but that's okay. That's okay. Sweeper button. I might do it and just limit myself to being like, okay, I got to do it in like 10 hours. So make something super small. I just get too obsessed sometimes. That said, I want to do it. I want to do it. We're going to see. We're going to see. I probably have to wait to the one in the spring again, because usually my year is a little bit easier later in the year. Beginning of the year is always a rough. Always more. It's always heavy front loaded. Everything's always front loaded. Buttons. All right. Equals new button. All right, and then we're just gonna add these buttons. Buttons at position is equal to BTN like this. Exactly, Zuperdan. Prepare well on the engine. That's exactly why I want to build a nice little engine, so I can put together something really quickly. I also want to do an Atlas-based game rather than a full 3D one. I want to do an Atlas-based game for sure. Yeah. We'll see what asset. This is the one where you're going to provide the assets. Is that correct? I hope you'll provide Atlas-based assets, because that's what I want to do. I have an idea for. I'm pretty sure I can do it without a ton of pain. Beautiful. All right, cool. So that will make it easier as well. So when we click, we should be able to say the following. We'll say if on buttons dot try get value. I'm just going to ignore this for now. We're just going to loop through all of them. All the positions in here. We're going to get our button sweeper button BTN equals buttons Raylib PHP Ray Revere. That sounds insane, my friend. That sounds insane. We'll pull this position out. BTN dot cell info equals contents. And we got to do something special in the content. So we should be able to forward the redraw information down here. We got to actually reset the sprite down here. I'm going to steal some code that I wrote previously again. Well, we're already in SFML sweeper. Let's steal some code from our SFML sweeper. This code was gross. I didn't like this code all that much, but it works. It works kind of. It works well enough. It'll work well enough. Render, sprite to draw, update sprites. This code here, we're going to still update sprite and revealed image for selecting which sweeper image to use. All right, so we're going to put this here. We're in fast mode, folks. We only got a couple minutes left. So board examine position. Do we have a reference to our board? We don't. Let's go ahead and pass. No. Update sprite. Let's have. Oh, I don't need it because we can pass in the cell information. Cell info like this. Examined. All right, we'll call this examined. This code's gross. I'm not that great. And then we'll also do. Oh, we're gonna need. All right, we actually do need a reference to our board. That's annoying. Update sprite. All right, so rather than taking in a cell info, we're gonna take in a board. This is just gross and hacky. I need to redesign my my information here. I really am hating this. You guys should hate this too because it's terrible. But we're doing what we do because we got to do. This will be our position. This will be our position. This will be sprite to update sprites. So this is actually, I don't know if I need this. This is going to be our sprite dot texture is equal to our textures that revealed images. Is that what I already called it that? Okay, perfect. Did this? Okay, so now this here needs to be cell info. I don't even need cell info now. It should just be update sprite. All right, gross. This code is the worst. Button.update sprite. Oh God, I've written some terrible code here, folks. Don't do this. Don't do this. But we're rushing our way through this. This should actually just take in board. Okay. All right. Let me generate board dot place random mines. We're gonna make sure that the top left corner is empty and that we have 10 mines. All right. Will it build? Darkman says, yo, welcome back, Darkman. Happy Thursday, my friend. How the heck are you on this beautiful Thursday? All right, so we got a 1 there. We got a 2 there. Boom, hit a bomb. All right, so we have it working, kind of. There's no reset button, but we got ourselves a very, very basic, semi-working Godot version. I can't right-click, like that. Let's see if I can beat it. There would be a bomb here, so there shouldn't be a bomb here or here. This one has to be a bomb. This one has to be a bomb. Therefore, this one's not a bomb. This one has to be a bomb. Oh, this is gross. I could probably figure this out. Let's try this corner. Let's try that corner. Yikes. Let's try there. Okay, so this one's a bomb, which means these are not bombs. This one has to be a bomb. This one has to be a bomb, so these are not bombs. There we go. All right, folks, we did it. We have a very dumb, simple working version of MineSweeper in Godot. Simple. I don't have my right click to flag. We can add that really quick, and I don't have like a restart button in our sweeper board. The simple thing to do here would be add a little if. This is the if thing. If event mouse button dot button index, probably left button index. The mouse button I differ the mouse button or wheel constant equals, and then is there a Godot.mouse button mouse button dot left. So if it's a left click, we reveal, else we do a flag on board like that. So we should be able to flag it now. Let's test it out. And I could add a button to restart it here. All right, how did we do? Can I do flags? I can't do flags. Godot crashed. Whoa, folks, the Godot editor crashed on me. I have never had Unity crash like that. I know people say that Unity crashed for them all the time. I don't think I've ever had Unity crash outside of like a while loop, like an infinite loop. Godot just crashed on me, and I have no idea why. I know people say Unity crashed on them all the time. I've never had Unity crash. I haven't written anything massive in Unity. Okay. All right, folks, I do have to, like, that's, Godot just knew that I had to wrap up my time. Maybe I hit the X on accident. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. All right, folks, let's see what we got. We did get a generated grid of clickable items. And we did implement a very simple MineSweeper controller. So we did actually finish a very dumb, simple version of MineSweeper and Godot today. It depends on what you're doing. So the only time I've had Unity crash on me was during a weird when there was a weird debugger issue. And then also if I accidentally wrote like an infinite loop or a Stack Overflow, Unity does not like that. but I tend to have not had that issue. The biggest project I've written in Unity was like a 4-week project though. We made it through, folks, and for being here to witness this momentous occasion, we got 50 points for the clickable grid, 50 points for the MineSweeper controller, and 100 points for finishing it all, so 200 points total. Thank you all of you for being here with me on this beautiful Thursday morning. I gotta get ready for work, folks. I appreciate you. We're gonna find someone to raid. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of the support. Folks, one sec. I gotta do the little promo give awry. I keep trying to give a Y. Giveaway. We got a giveaway going on. If you want to win yourself the beautiful MMO pug, the wonderful MMO pug has provided Captain Coder with a bunch of laser engraved swag, folks. Look at this tumbler. Look at this beautiful 16-ounce tumbler with that Captain Coder logo on it. We're testing out our giveaway features here. If you want to get in on that giveaway, Saturday, all you got to do is before Saturday, come into the Discord, click on that giveaways tab, click any one of these reactions. Any one of these reactions enters you to win. I will mail it anywhere the United States Postal Service will allow me to mail it. So if you live somewhere that, you can't get mail from the United States Postal Service, well, I'm sorry, I can't send it to you, but do your best. Go ahead, get in there, because I'd love to see some people with some Captain Coder swag. All right, folks, I appreciate you being here. Let's see if we can find someone to raid real quick. Sigian, free points, indeed, free points. McNet says, see ya, McNets. Thank you so much for hanging out. I loved having you here. We're gonna go raid, because I've been wanting to watch this stream. Alicia Griffin was here yesterday, and so I want to go check out Alicia's stream. We're gonna raid Alicia Griffin, folks. I've never been there. I'm not sure what the stream is about. It says software. I know that she's learning coding, but I've never seen the stream. So let's go check it out. We're gonna raid Alicia Griffin, folks. As always, keep coding, keep growing, be the best you can be, and I will see you next time. We'll be back on Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Have a beautiful day, folks. Bye-bye.